All
That's
right.
a Twitch host right there.
I believe.
Cross promotion.
Yeah, this is synergy. It's synergy, people. So on we go. Session 9 with the Warriors of Eastmount, coming back in hot off some drama. I'm like almost out of purple water.
Ah, yes, purple water.
So last session,
Oh boy.
there was some ne'er-do-wells in the crowd of a proper protest at the living conditions of the poor in the city. Threw oil and attempted to throw fire onto some guards that had been recruited in from the Elven Kingdoms. You all were able to thwart that for the large part. Lucian had a duel on a bridge, and she came out victorious. Norvin and Ravi, in particular, went back using a suggestion spell to get one of the ne'er-do-wells to turn themselves in, and then later a suggestion spell to say, hey, tell us everything you know, and don't lie to us. Tell us everything we want to know. Who then spewed a bunch of information about a bunch of things, some of which sent you all down a path that led to the killing of the head of Norvin's church. Body subsequently dumped in the river. Charlie's girlfriend having some suspicion around as there's some secret wig action going on, and some names and some journals found. We're gonna have to get into it. Session 8's over on the YouTube, or here on the Twitch stuff. I try to always highlight the episode so people can watch it at their leisure. But yeah, we're gonna get right into it. Charlie making a perception check with disadvantage due to being unconscious.
Just
And you know, my perception checks always go so great.
Oh yeah, I always count on these to be high.
Honestly, I think Charlie just needs some glasses.
yeah,
Undiagnosed
in-game
vision
reason
problems.
as to why your perception is shit.
They need
Charlie
one
is
of, like, the monocle
legally
things.
blind.
They need one of the one-eye monocles.
Let's see.
4.
4.
Wasn't a 1.
There was a moment of just being dead asleep after some not exactly sure of what certain revelations meant, and finally getting yourself down a little later than you'd like, and you are dead tired, passed out, and wake up very suddenly to just at the front door of you and your girlfriend's apartment. You and sitting next to you, both of you kind of like awaken at the sudden pounding. She's just like, oh god, and you look out the window. It's probably 8, 9 o'clock. It's not an unreasonable time to be knocking on the door. You all just kind of slept in. She sits up quickly and throws on a robe. Doing anything?
I grab my rapier and hide it behind the door as I answer.
Rushing over. You just open the door or say something, or how are you approaching it?
I'll open it.
There's right as you're opening. There's
I'm in,
like another
just my boxers.
There's another boom boom, oh, and it opens. You see a 5-foot dwarf man, sort of a red and gray beard. That's not overly well braided into a thing. Hair just sort of quickly slicked back under a cap. On the taller end of dwarves, so he's just he has to crouch just a little bit for the the height level of the halfling abode that he's outside of. Seeing your face is just like, oh, hello, I am Elliot. Is had me look at is Lee here? And there's a from behind you, like, oh, it's Elliot. Yeah. Just sees your rapier behind the back. Goes, Charlie, this is Elliot. He looked at that key that we found randomly yesterday, remember?
I'll take my rapier and just put it on the place it on the wall.
Just sort of-
Sorry if I'm interrupting at all. It keeps cutting out.
Oh, right. Some internet issues tonight, possibly. The dwarf is invited in and comes in, and your girlfriend grabs him a chair. And he just sits down and goes, "Hey, I'll be heading to the Flapping Dragon later for a late breakfast, so I'll probably see you around there too, but if there's more but in private situation. I looked at that key you brought, and he kind of takes it out of his little pouch and hands it back to your girlfriend, and it's like, I have some notes. Are you all right? Kind of talking to Charlie. Sorry if I startled you, Maya.
I'm fine. Just
looking for the okay, that's fine. I can just give you the information. It's fine. We'll get to know each other over, the next few weeks now when you all are settled and we have game night or something. So what you have there? That's a key is
looking forward to it.
Yes, of course. Anyway, I'm sorry. I tend to rattle on. So that key is tied to the culture that precedes the city. Specifically the religious order that was where the church stands now. That is it would be tied to whatever ruins might be buried beneath. So if whatever that goes to is there, that's where it would be. Somewhere in the catacombs beneath the church. There's the markings here, if you take a look. And it starts to go on for a while about the specifics of how he figured out exactly how this key is tied to that location. And
Me
just
talking about Marvel movies.
a little bit. It's
It's like
fascinating.
Louise.
The tombs under there are over 100 years old. From when the old Elven Empire had a settlement here before they abandoned it. It was during some dark times. Of course, there's no indication of what in particular. There's no specific tomb listed on the key in particular, but chances are it'll be the one that's closed and locked.
Or the one's locked.
Charlie's giving this kind of death stare, I feel like.
Charlie's just being quiet.
Right. Isley kind of, by the time he's done going through his whole explanation, Isley has made coffee, and is handing out cups to both of you and to have herself. It's like, fascinating. Any historical tie-ins to anyone that was like super rich or something? Is this like a payday or something? And he's just like, I couldn't tell you. That place was well raided 50 years ago before the Aylmer Church took it over and built the current structure. So who knows if there's something there? I expect my percentage, but otherwise, who could tell?
Relax my shoulders, gosh.
Sounds good. I'll let the party know.
Party? There's a party? Isley
No,
just gives him like
my
like pats him on the shoulder, go, it's Mr. Lil, you know exactly what they mean. Enough of your grandfather jokes. You don't even have grandchildren. He's like, I'm sorry, I can't help it. Well, I wish you both well. Thank you for the coffee. I'll have this on my walk. I'll get you the cup later. But if you have any other pieces of antiquity you need identified and looked at for historical context, make sure to look me up.
I like
Will
this guy.
do.
What
And
was
then
your...
I go back into the room to put on pants and a shirt.
Oh, you have no pants, just boxers or something.
It's just boxers.
He's been avoiding eye contact this whole time. Then he's like, yes. Good on you.
This is a very interesting ceiling you have.
This is wonderful. It's a brilliant construction for halflings. I'll have to watch my head over there, but yes. Well, easily. You know where to find me if you need any other assistance with anything whatsoever. And look after yourself. I'll see you around and about. Charlie, give me a regular perception check.
Odds are it won't be much better.
21.
Holy
Wow.
jeez. In
Big money.
as you get to the side room to like it's almost sort of like a studio kind of apartment, but there is like a set up like side room area to like change and whatnot. But you do hear what are hushed tones by the door as she's like letting him out, where you catch the there's not many requests for your specialty, but if you need any work can be arranged. It won't be exactly the kind you've been accustomed to. And she's just like, no, I do what I do, and that's all. And I think that might be out of demand at the moment. And he's like, yes, of course. I would never press the issue. You know that. He goes, thank you, Elil. Just head out. And gives him like you hear like a pat on the back. All right, bye, Elliot. Have a good day. And shuts the door. Goes to sit down and is like working on her coffee when you come out, now dressed for the day.
What kind of work you been doing?
Oh, none well, I wouldn't say I'm ashamed of any of it. It's all fine. It's all entertainment stuff. Some people like to be sung to. You know, adventurers, they love a bard having a diddle out and about.
Gross.
Huh?
Have anyone that needs to be beaten up?
No.
Ugh.
No, nothing like that. Just a little.
I mean, not to kink shame, but
People like a song, and that's, it's hard
Hey,
to get a
if
good
you're
singer in
into
town.
that, I ain't gonna judge. Ghost of Lucian.
Right, well, if anyone gives you a hard time,
Oh, of course. You're
fight them.
the first one I would talk to if I wanted someone dead.
what?
I'm
Why would you say
bad.
that?
All right. Well,
Accidental murder hobos the party.
let us finish our coffee. I have a shift I might technically be late to over at the Flapping Dragon, and adventurers might start coming back into town now that the hubbubaloo is done with. Wait, is it done with? I'm not really sure. Go check with your friends. Here, and hands you the key. If you can find that could be quite the payday for us.
Well, I'll wait for you to finish getting ready and I'll head over with you. Going
God,
to the
I
same
hope-
place anyway.
She gathers her clothes and does not bother being private at all, and does her best to do a bit of a show for you while getting dressed and ready for the day. She's making a show of it, we'll say. But
Is it the show usually when you get undressed?
I just made so many connections, but I can't say them because I wasn't there.
That's fine. Let's moving on. The other three. You all wake
Hi.
up in the morning over at Flapping Dragon, coming down per normal. You see a couple other like adventuring types that have come into town and are grabbing breakfast. And breakfast is available to grab. Lucian, yes.
Is espresso a thing in this world?
There's a coffee.
Lucian's going to
pancake.
drink as much coffee as they can.
Okay.
Or just caffeinated tea, anything to just be... Because Lucian barely slept.
Ah.
They rested, they barely slept.
Needing a jolt to get going in the morning. Norvin.
Yes.
You recognize one of the priests of the church that has walked in and is specifically looking for you, and you're not super hard to spot in a specific type of full plate and very tall, and walks over to you and you've talked to this guy before. This is Linway, who you talked to. Sort of, he's a younger elven member of the clergy that kind of helps mostly with food lines and some minor healing. Kind of just walks over. It's just like, Brother Norvin, I was looking for you this morning. I didn't see you resting with us over at the church's establishment, so figured you'd be over here with your adventuring type friends. The high priest, apparently moved by the words of you and your compatriots yesterday, has called an advisory meeting of all of the clergy as well as community leaders from both sides of town. There apparently is going to be some revisions to the tax code for greater fairness in service of the people. This may end up angering some of the richer folks, but with everyone on board with it, it should be relatively straightforward. I haven't seen him yet this morning, but one of the other priests mentioned that last night was his sabbatical night, and sometimes he comes in late the following day. So nothing too surprising. So sometime this afternoon, we should all be gathering, going out to meet some of the community members, and making some of these adjustments to how the community is run and taxed, and all of these things, for greater equity for the regular people. So if you would join us and have your voice heard with any inputs, that would be wonderful. I understand if you're busy with your adventuring friends and all that. But yes, we will hopefully see you later. Oh, there should be... Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. But there should be some representatives from both the northern elven kingdoms who are offering their aid in security and governance of the area. And there's also some representatives from a coastal traveling guild type people. Emissaries have been sent to them as well. Everyone's meant to pitch their governmental ideas, and the people will be deciding how they would like it, they would like things run. But of course, we want to pre-review all of these things for the good of everyone, just to make sure everything's on the up and up.
I'd love to be there, voice my opinion on that, and hear everyone's proposals. But you said the high priest returned this morning, and he's doing well,
No,
right?
he did not return this morning. But I talked to one of the other priests who knows him a little better. I'm rather new. I've only been here a few months. But one of the elders in the clergy was saying that occasionally, every 2 or 3 months, spends an evening mingling with the common folk and then returning sometimes a little late the next day to keep himself grounded with the people.
So he hasn't returned yet, has he?
No, but it sounds like that's not unusual. He has a late night speaking with all sorts of people all over town, and then finds somewhere to rest for the evening. Rumor has it with just whatever person he's inspired to give charity to him, then extend that charity to others throughout the next period of... You understand the idea.
Yes.
But he's supposedly expected back sometime in the afternoon.
Okay, I'll finish breakfast here with my friends, and I'll meet you at the church with the rest of the clergy later.
Excellent, Brother Norvin. I'll see you soon. He does a nod and a nod to Ravi and a nod to Lucian, and then starts kind of picks up his robe and starts heading out.
Nervin turns around and just walks straight to Ravi. Just beelines it for Ravi.
Yes, Norvin? What was that about?
I think that the high priest is still alive.
You think so?
That fellow member of the clergy that just came to talk to me, he said that there'll be a meeting later on where we'll talk about future governance for this area, and he said one of the elders said that the high priest will be returning around that time.
So maybe we
Or
didn't.
perhaps that's what he thinks.
Let's hope.
Well, the three of you
Yeah.
make a general intelligence check. This is
Oh,
what we call
I know, we're all,
This is
they're
a
all
check.
so smart.
This is
yeah,
a
we
check
all have
for
brains.
math. Roll for math.
Oh,
Three.
no. Straight intelligence.
Straight intelligence.
Actually, well, 4.
14.
Hey!
Hey.
Norvin, after panicking the other two, you start to think it through in your head and realize, like, well, no, so he must have made these plans with the rest of the clergy last night before he left. Then things happened, but nobody at the church knows things happened. So the plans are still, like, in motion for there to be a meeting in the afternoon.
No. This is so bad. Oh no.
Should we like skip town?
I don't know.
So,
I'd like to at least somewhat try and repair the situation.
I have an idea.
Oh no.
I am instantly afraid.
How good are your disguises?
No. No. Not good enough, Norman.
Out of character. I wish I had Mask of Many Faces. This would solve the situation.
Oh,
Disguise self. I mean, I can disguise myself to look exactly like him, but it is possible for people to see through it.
And also, how long does that last?
An hour.
Exactly.
I excuse myself to go to the bathroom partway through.
But what if it's longer than 2 hours?
Then I do it again.
That would get
He's
suspicious.
old. He's got a small bladder.
You got a good point.
I
Or
don't know what to do.
we could leave.
we could.
If we find out that he's actually bad, then the three of us still assume that he's bad actually, because like we haven't.
There's no proof that he wasn't actually embezzling.
Because Charlie took the little ledger thing, and then they saw that like it looked all okay.
Yes.
But we don't know that. So I mean, we
If
still
you're
assume
on-
he's bad.
If you're embezzling that much, you don't write it down and keep it on your person.
Well, not on your person, but
So, Ravi and Umbra, we could just do this as if we don't know what happened, because why would they suspect us?
Yeah, like
I mean, yes.
3 rando adventurers.
And as long as he doesn't show up, I'd say we're fine.
Yeah, and that's a little bit on your patron, Lucian?
I don't think my patron knows well, he probably knows necromancy. I don't think he practices necromancy that much.
Well, I'm
Oh,
more
I'm not
meaning
sure.
as long as your patron doesn't betray us,
Yeah, he controls the sea
probably
still,
we'll
so
be okay.
keep his
Probably.
body at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I did not think I was going to be arrested this soon into my adventure.
I say we finish our business, go figure out if he was actually embezzling. Skip town.
Perhaps. Wait a minute. Did he say where this meeting was going to be held, Norvin?
At the church.
Could eavesdrop.
I mean, oh shit, we don't know that the key is for somewhere under the church either.
Oh yeah, we don't know that.
Well, around
Well,
this point,
guys.
around this point in the conversation, there is a ding 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 as a pair of halflings come into the flapping dragon. Charlie, you show up and see your adventuring party
Hi.
at a table. Your girlfriend pulls you in to give you a kiss on the cheek. Says, "Gotta work."
Have a good shift, and then I turn and I power walk over to the table. As we
The
fuck
pure
off.
anxiety walk.
What?
I think he was a good guy.
What?
Uh,
What
What?
do you mean?
do you want to go talk at my house?
Sure.
It's
your
that's-
house?
Let's go
Safer than
talk at
here?
my house.
You sound like you need to go to the bathroom.
Alright. I guess we
No, I
followed
just
Charlie
might throw
out.
up.
Yeah, I say we followed Charlie outdoors to
Okay.
a place.
Oh no, Norvin in
They're
Charlie's
close
house.
I'm
Oh,
speed walking, which
Like
is like the normal
crawling
pace
through
for
the
everyone
house.
else.
So, real question here. How high are the roofs in their house?
You don't know yet.
Okay.
At
All right.
most, like 5 feet.
They're like 5 feet. Yeah.
You'll have to like snake crawl.
You all walk over to find the nearly, not quite, but nearly beachfront property that Charlie's apparently renting. You're not really sure of the situation, but you go up a flight and a half of stairs over into Charlie's place. Charlie lets you in, and yeah, Norvin, you gotta get pretty low. It's like I have what's considered a comfortable crawl space because there's a full like 3 feet to work with. So it's sort of like that feeling.
Yeah.
It's like you can technically be on your feet and it's fine, but yeah, you gotta kneel most of the time.
Yeah, I gotta crawl around a bit.
Yeah. But everyone technically fits.
I assume he just sits and then like scooches around.
Right.
He does like the second grader butt scooch.
Yeah,
exactly.
you know, like dogs, like they just walk around.
Yeah.
Robbie's not super tall, so he's kind of just ducking a little
Right.
bit.
But regardless, the four of you find your way into the room and able to speak freely.
What did you want to say, Charlie?
What was so urgent?
Okay, so I don't think he had this journal that he got income from the church and almost all of it went back right into the community to help people. And
That
the
can't be
key
true.
is for...
No. Give it to me.
Do I
I want
still
to
have
see.
the ledger?
Yeah, you still have it.
Okay, yeah, I'll give it to them.
But
I'm
like,
gonna like scour it. Like
Right.
Robbie's like does not believe. He's like,
If
no.
if
Oh,
Elliot
no.
had
Oh,
it,
no.
he would have given it back when he came back in the morning. So,
okay, if it doesn't say that. However, if you're stealing 10,000 gold, you don't write it down unless you're a pirate. Like, if you're breaking the
Where
law
would
and
he steal the
stealing,
gold from?
Ravi, make an investigation check.
Okay. Decent.
Huh.
Okay. Investigation. It's a 16.
16, thumbing through it, this is not an itinerary for the town's taxes. This is his personal itinerary for what he spends his money on. And you flip through it and you see it's relatively straightforward. He gets like 50 gold a month, and a lot of that he spends on charity, but he documents what he spends on charity stuff. You do see him putting away about 50 gold every 3 months or so for a single purchase, which just says to Elil, Elil.
Which I do know. I do know that name.
Yes, you have heard
Yes.
Elil before. That's the only thing that stands out as unusual. Otherwise, it's literally someone counting calories, except they're counting their coppers.
Elil. I know that name. Norvin, that was the name that the one guy gave us, right?
That the prisoner gave us. He told us
Yeah.
to meet someone outside. This would have
He said-
happened like yesterday in the world, but I'm honestly
Yeah.
having trouble remembering.
Elil was the name of the person he said was in charge
And
yeah,
he said that we could possibly
this-
meet him if
of,
we.
of the specifically bad people in the crowd there,
Yeah.
as far as we know.
I'm sorry, I'm having like a real world brain fart right here. What he said that we could meet them somewhere, didn't he?
Yeah, I wrote it down. Yeah.
East
yes.
side of town. Yeah. Lucian, what's up?
What if this 50 gold is some sort of payment for moving his money around?
Or it's an alibi. You know, you pay it to someone fake and then they put it in a bank and it's clean money now. I mean,
Money laundering.
exactly. But also,
Or what if he's
I mean, I don't know how
instigating
many-
the riots?
I don't know how many people there are in this city named Ilil. So perhaps it's a coincidence. Perhaps it's the same Ilil. And I don't like that.
Either way, it's bad news.
Yes.
The key, and I pull that out. It's for the crypts under the church.
Well, then I say
Oh,
I
That's
say we're about to go do some grave robbing.
Well,
perfect because
Yeah,
we're
Norman, you.
I'm
So
supposed
you
to
go
be
ahead.
there later for our talk of new governance within the town.
Right.
But the issue
Do you get
is
to bring
a +1.
I-
others?
I'd assume as long as there's space for you to stand, you'd be welcome. Because they do want voices from all there.
Do you know how to get into the crypts?
Unfortunately, I don't. Not for this church, at least.
Or perhaps there's another way into the crypts that's not in the church?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I know lots of cities have just underground passageways throughout the entire city. I'm not
Visitor
one for crawling through sewers, but perhaps it's safer.
I could go poking around while you guys are at that meeting if you wanted.
I'd say we go 2 and 2. That way, if one of us runs into trouble, each of us, everyone has at least someone to back them up.
So,
Lucian, how are you at sneaking around?
I'm pretty good. Mostly from practice stealing from the galley for midnight snacks.
I
mean-
I want to get an intelligence check or a history check even from Charlie.
I also, Jeff,
Mm.
cannot, like, is there like a roll I could make to see if Ravi's smart enough to like try and do the math on like the 50 gold every 3 months and like how many years that would take and like whatever?
Oh, basic arithmetic.
Well, I don't know. I don't know how like I've got a +2 intelligence, so I don't know how that stacks up.
Oh
You
yeah,
are
you're-
the smartest one in the group.
that's
Am I? Oh no.
with your ability
Yeah.
to do 5th grade math, you are the most intelligent.
Jonah
person around.
can't, but
My character has an intelligence of 10.
Yeah, I'd say offhand you would know. You're thinking about. Oh man, why is my brain having trouble with that? I used to teach math.
okay, so it would take on my calculator that I just did. It
Yeah,
would
that's
take
much
him
better.
50 years to amass 10,000 gold by just 50 like every 3 months or so.
Right.
And how old was this guy?
Roughly
Don't believe you.
60s, maybe late 60s, early 70s at the latest.
He could have still been stealing.
It's possible.
think
I mean,
it's possible.
Robbie definitely brings up that point like
That's a real long
all right,
con.
so
Charlie,
That
Yeah.
history check was 13.
13. You put something together. You remember the name of the dwarf that told you the info on the key? Your girlfriend referred to him at one point as Mr. Lil. Also that and that his first name is Elliot. And so your brain puts E and Lil together.
Allele.
yeah, I put it
I say
put
that-
it together
I-
like when she said it and I was like, "Oh no. Oh no."
And you also
like-
I
because you made your
abruptly say that.
because you did make your 20 plus perception check. You also did hear in hushed tones like a goodbye, Lil, and like as she was like telling him to leave.
The dude was in my house this morning.
What?
He was
Well,
here.
this- This Allele character is really starting to pop up everywhere.
Yeah.
I think this is
might have to go
slightly too
pay
many
him a-
times. This might be slightly too many times to be a coincidence.
I feel like we should go pay him a... What do you call it? What do you call it when you...
A visit?
A beating. That's a joke.
I don't think.
Wait,
I don't think
pirate
we need
joke.
to do that.
Pirate joke.
Charlie, why was he here?
He was the one that took the ledger and the key to find out where they were from and look through everything.
So, you accidentally handed the stuff we were robbed off the priest to the guy he was paying.
Isley said that we could trust him. I trust her.
How sure are we?
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
This is breaking Jonah, you guys.
It's so hard when you've seen the entire season of WandaVision and like somebody's watching the first episode and you're just sort of like, man, I'm not saying shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's
Can't
even
wait for-
worse for the DM.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know everything.
Yeah.
Well, you know everything. Having having
Uh.
session notes with 2 bullet points don't count. Calling
Oh.
myself out here.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't know if that's Jeff's style.
I've
No,
got
it's my
a
style.
page.
Okay, that's decent.
I am
More than I have. Oh,
Cliff
improv
notes.
is so good.
That's good stuff. So, all of you put this together in a thought of exactly what to trust and think about.
We all bring our one brain cell to the group and put it together.
Everyone's your combined like +1 modifier to intelligence checks.
And we experience a thought.
That's a -1 here, though. So
Yeah.
My brain cells are like the screensaver on the old DVDs, and when they hit the corner, I experience a
Charlie,
thought.
what's your intelligence modifier?
Oh my. All right. Well, let's stop measuring int bonuses.
+1.
+1. Okay, so we have a collective +2.
impressive.
Well, but we also have a -1.
Yeah, I think
Well,
you guys
that's why it's
average
a
out
collide
to about
included that.
+1.
Oh, right, yours is
Um,
+2.
on
Right.
average. So
Collective 2 intelligence.
you have a key and supposedly intelligence that there's probably a crypt under the church. There is also a meeting happening at the church later, but Norvin, you know, you can walk into that church kind of whenever you want, and you all had no problem yesterday just like walking downstairs to where they
Yeah.
had a makeshift, prison cell.
Probably
So,
there's some way.
and you also just know that there's nothing. You could probably walk around without too much anybody blocking you. Ravi, what's up?
Yeah, there's probably some way to get to the crypt from like the downstairs where Norvin and I went last time.
Yes,
So
Probably. Uh-oh. We lost a Tay.
No.
Oh, they were talking about their
Oh, yeah,
internet
they were
and
talking about
squatting.
possible internet
Oh.
issues tonight.
Oh, now I'm actually properly zoomed out.
Oh no. Wait, how's that work?
Dorime.
That might be my fault. All right, hopefully we get Tay back here in a minute. But for the rest of you, what's the plan?
heading to the church.
I think
Panic.
No. We make the plan before we go to the place we're about to rob.
Yeah. Okay, because I have the ability to disguise myself, and I have decent stealth, and I'm really good at bullshitting. So like,
I think a couple of us should sneak down into the crypt, while the other group stays up top.
I could.
yeah,
most
that sounds like a
likely-
good idea.
Yeah.
I could most likely just walk down into the crypt.
Yeah, but they also requested like your audience there at the
Yeah.
meeting, so like,
So it might be hard for you to get away.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm
So
just
if
some
you-
no one pirate.
if you're there like at the meeting trying to like also distract people,
Also, I should mention, Ravi, with your character's ability to do basic math, if there are like 10,000 gold pieces, that's roughly 200 pounds of coins
Yeah.
to then take somewhere, which quietly may or may not be an issue. Adventurers walking around with a sack of coins isn't that big of a deal, but do you have the sacks needed?
we need the sack of sacks.
Maybe the sack of sacks.
Never
Wait,
forget.
the plan,
Forget
the plan
the
at least
sack
in
of
my head was less to get all the gold and more to prove its existence. You know?
Yeah, find out that it's there
And like find if there's
then-
something, and like find if there's like a ledger there or like something that's keeping track of like what's up. You know?
Right? What?
I wasn't thinking that we were gonna try and get it out, at least on this pass.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Quick question. Does the key have any metal at all on it?
It is entirely metal.
Oh,
Okay, I am going to make a replica of that key.
Nice.
so we have 2 of them now.
You will
Yes.
need equivalent value, which can be done with like a random kitchen prong that is around.
Oh, it's like a small key. I thought
so-
I was thinking like a big key.
It's a
Skeleton
It's
key.
a sizable kind of skeleton key, but still like a large a large
I was-
poker is
Like the
more than
size
enough.
of some scissors.
Right.
I was thinking like a Zelda boss key, which is like this big.
Kingdom Hearts.
I hesitate to adjust the screen frames. Ooh.
Yeah.
I have an idea.
I can just hang out. I can just hang out in Razzy's corner over here.
I'm still in
I
my corner.
can.
Vibing.
I
Oh, oh.
can. Oh, they
That
may be
looks
back.
like a Tay, maybe.
I was just gonna make it.
Ah!
Ah! They have
Back.
returned.
Tay
You,
is back.
you've arrived.
I was just gonna
They
make
have
a.
arrived.
I was just gonna make a
Oh, you're approaching.
duplicate page.
And I'll
in
beat
my
the shit of
OBS
you
stuff.
standing over here.
Oh,
Hey.
hey!
Hey,
Success.
they're back.
Cool. It would not let me back into the call. I had to completely restart my laptop.
Oh no!
Damn.
Wait, I
Okay,
have a
so-
meme for this.
So Tay, so far the plan is we're gonna sneak in there. We haven't decided who is sneaking in there. And we're just gonna try and prove the existence of the gold and perhaps find some other damning evidence with it, if we can. We haven't decided who's going down into the crypt if we can find it, and who is staying up though.
It will most likely
I-
not be Norvin because I have to partake in the meeting.
What are we doing with the gold? I
I
feel like we
hate-
should decide that now.
Well, I hate politics, so I don't need to be up there.
For now,
I'm a
Nothing.
pirate.
for now, nothing.
I'm a pirate, no
Then
politics.
you know about burying your gold to come back for it when it's a better time.
Yes. I have a
So
friend
right
who
now-
gathered all his treasure together in one place.
Well, for now, we are leaving it until a better time.
It sounds like a plan.
Charlie, I will be taking one of your forks. And Norvin just reaches over and grabs a fork and then starts his ritual
It's
on
like
that.
one of your like hefty like
Rude.
fire pokers. To someone
Hmm.
his size, you can see how he mistook it for a fork. But does grab one of your heavier iron like cooking implements. You all kind of watch. I think it takes an hour as some magic is cast around the key, and the fire poker slowly like bends and
This is
curves
not gonna go
and
well.
indents and chips in like certain places and forms the a perfect replica of the exact same key. And now there is a second of the same key.
Should we stash one somewhere?
I
So we
say,
have one.
Break
So we
in
have one to
later.
bring down, and then we have another one just in case we get caught and it gets confiscated? Maybe?
I say we keep one with each group in case we
Alright.
get separated and have to both get down there somehow.
That's
a good
also
idea.
a good idea.
I just take
Big
my
brain plays,
stick
Norvin.
down my pants. There, problem solved. Key
Do
is
you
hidden.
not have pockets?
What's a pocket?
These and
Well,
Lucy
if
just.
they check our pockets,
Good point.
they could check our pockets.
A good point.
Tricks of the trade, guys. Come on.
It's a good point. That's why you gotta
Big
keep it in your
brain
prison
time.
wallet.
I was avoiding the joke.
Oh my. Okay, so we're gonna avoid the next set of jokes. So you all
Please.
have decided to split the party. Always works out.
Obviously,
what are
every
you
time it works
two-
so good.
Splitting the party is a great idea. What are you talking about?
You know. Who am I kidding? You guys usually wipe when you're all together.
Not like anything will change.
So
This way,
what are the
if
pairs?
we get into this way, if we get into any trouble and we die, at least there'll be 2 survivors.
I believe it's
Norvin,
me
maybe-
and Charlie
So you all know
Yeah, I
in one
think-
group.
you
Sorry.
are all well, mostly Ravi and Norvin are aware of this, but everyone would kind of know. people who are allowed free reign within the church outside of like the main cathedral hall are because they are accompanied by Norvin. Norvin's a priest of the order. New as he may be, he's given a relative leeway on just walking wherever he wants to walk.
How? Wait.
Idea. I can disguise myself
As
The same-
Norvin.
as Norvin.
Same thought. Same thought.
Exactly. So,
We
I
are
am
sharing
like
info.
a solid like 1.5 feet shorter than him. But if we got some platforms, I could potentially disguise myself as him and be closer to the same height.
Well, if you're only 1.5 feet shorter than me, I think you can make yourself.
No,
a foot.
your disguise self is different from the regular one. Because
Mine's
you can
3
make
feet.
yourself
Yours should
seem.
be
1 foot.
1 foot.
Oh,
Yeah.
So it'd be a
I mean,
6-inch.
I should probably still get some platforms,
Yeah.
and then I'll just
6
have that in my
seals.
inventory for the rest of the campaign.
I was gonna say we're gonna be a good hour in, and it's gonna be so. Our conclusion is shoe shopping.
Yes.
I just put a picture. Are we talking that tall?
Robbie wearing those.
All right. So
Do they count as unarmed
Okay,
damage?
so I think the idea now is Norvin and Lucian in the meeting, and then Ravi and Charlie into the crypt, maybe?
okay. So the plan
You
is
want?
Is that okay with everyone? That's
Wait.
You want-
Quick question for Jeff.
Yeah.
How long until the actual meeting begins? Because I know you said around noon, but like.
the afternoon.
Okay.
They did not
So we have plenty of
specify
time.
the exact time that the meeting would be happening, but it sounds like in the afternoon there would be some sort of debate and discussion with a whole bunch of extra people around the church area to have these discussions.
yeah,
Do
but
you-
also hopefully fewer people in important places because they want to get their thoughts in.
You want
So-
me to sit still in a meeting about politics for several hours?
I want you to protect Norvin and think about all that gold that we're going to find down there.
That I can do.
So, Ravi, what if I guide you and Tay to the entrance of the crypt and then leave? So, and if you need it, you could transform into me so that there won't be two of me being seen.
That's a better idea.
Yeah, that'd be weird.
Okay. So I think we go shoe shopping and then head to the church.
Is there a shoe shop in town?
Yeah, is there a place I can get 6-inch platforms?
Make a well, yeah, no, you find the local like shoemaker in town.
Yeah.
Kind of specializes in that, and kind of walk in, and this long bearded like gnomish fellow is just like, "You want your shoes? How tall?" Like, kind of gets a pair of boots that are high for like trudging through snow, that have like a 1-inch heel on them, and it's like for trekking through snow and things.
I want to be tall.
He wants to be.
tall.
He
I'm
wants to be
not.
taller.
I mean,
Oh,
I'm
and
like 210. You're like,
I'm only 5'8".
yeah, that's pretty tall for me.
But not for a half elf.
I mean,
Do you
you're
see
like-
where my inadequacy issues come from?
I mean, unless you're trying to look like that guy, I don't know why you need to. But all right, let's see. If you've got 20 gold, I'll get them to you in, a day.
I
And-
have an interruption to make before we continue.
Yeah.
Norvin is 9 feet tall.
Oh, he is. Oh no.
So you need full
I
on
thought you were
stilts to make this plan
I
work.
thought you were like 7.
No, Norvin is tall.
Oh no. Okay, well I can be Norvin's younger brother if need be.
Norman's slightly shorter younger brother.
I just need the tallest boots he can make me. And I'm gonna put 3 platinum on the counter and say I need them sooner than that.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay.
You're a bard.
Usually good at. So, it's a 22.
You're a bard. You're good at those.
Yeah.
There's sort of a look down and goes, "Get your calves on my counter." And he grabs the 3 them and puts them away. He gets out some like tape measures and like gets measurements of your legs, like up to the inseam, higher than you expected him to measure. And he's just like,
Pinky boots.
You're gonna need.
yeah.
These aren't gonna last, but they'll get the job done for a little bit.
Oh no, I feel like there's gonna be rolls to see if they fall apart while we're doing this.
No, I can't use good dark wood on that because it's gonna, your legs can't support the weight. I gotta go with like a pine. It's not gonna be great.
Oh, just like the heaviest boot ever. Gosh,
Just
Flood.
the biggest clogs ever.
Like, I'll get on it. Give me like 2 hours.
I look to Norvin.
Bring a lunch. Get out of here. I gotta work.
Okay, all right. I guess we leave.
You can hear the clobbering of like tools and supplies being pulled up on the counter.
So like, we'd get back and get the boots like noon-ish.
Yeah, right around
Okay.
noon. Yeah.
Okay, we got time. We got time.
Yeah, because it was the afternoon when the meeting was being
Yeah,
held.
yeah,
so-
yeah.
All right. Is the whole group gonna go make an attempt, pre-meeting distraction to just go have a look around, or?
Pre-meeting, we should look
Yeah,
around and see if we can
so
find anything.
Scout out.
yeah,
Yeah.
and also if we can find a entrance to the catacombs, maybe outside, because that would make our job way easier.
I mean, yeah. If there's, I don't know, like, no, because that's way too fast to be like to try and like get a grate in the river, like find a grate in the river, and then that's just way too fast.
All right. So where are y'all heading?
To the church.
To the church. You head over. You can see a small stage being constructed still, being kind of hastily thrown together. Planks of wood have been propped up on boxes. It's just meant to be like a quick stage area for speakers to be able to come up to. You walking up, you can see the lady you saw yesterday with the gold rope kind of weaved through her bun, standing next to and talking with a very lizard-like man, in a like a bronze breastplate that has a like interesting filigree kind of carved into it. This is a like a dragon man, with like red scales, full-on horns coming up to a point, tail kind of brushing the ground nearby, having a chat, shield and a sword kind of on his side. These sort of like long pointed ears that kind of come off the side of the head and meet the horns. Ravi, what's up?
I just wanted to ask, does the city have we seen like grates and like sewer system of any kind?
Occasional like storm drain kind of things, and inside
Okay.
of homes you see some semblance of like an internal plumbing system, that you haven't dug apart a house and checked out exactly how it works, but you don't see a lot of access points that have been obvious to you. But yeah, outside the church you've got that pair chatting each other up with a few soldiers around. Lucian and Ravi in particular recognize a figure that's keeping kind of hooded, the kind of weather-beaten elven ancestry lady that you all had seen on the roof. She is hanging out there along with a gruff like Goliath man, who's got like just a really short curly beard that's just like a chin strap and tattoos all across the head and body. Height rivaling Norvin, with just like a flowy shirt, and like a little like battle axe on the side, and just sort of like sees everyone approaching, gives Norvin kind of an eye and like a good like size up, and then just is like one of those like, "You're a big guy," and like that kind of head nod of like fellow large man, and as one does.
Novin,
Yes?
that's the
Yeah.
woman. You remember that woman, right? The one that
Yeah.
I turned into, and he said that was the prisoner said was the one who charged them with that. Do you think maybe we should let someone know?
We should.
It seems as if she's currently invited here. I will be here for the meeting if she starts anything.
All right.
I will also be ready to just.
Yeah, I also tell Lucian that like, oh, that woman that we met, on the roof, well, the prisoner said that, she charged them with the fire and bridges thing.
God damn it.
So keep a close eye on her.
Although you better, I'll keep 2.
Priests and whatnot are all going all over the place trying to get things set up. So there's no one blocking you as you enter the church. People are moving mostly crates and things around, and they're trying to essentially they're trying to set up seating for people that need to sit, and the clergy folk here are usually trying to look for making sure everybody's taken care of, and everyone can participate. But you do see Linwy is there and spots Norvin and approaches.
Question.
Yeah.
Would Norvin know where in the church a possible entrance to the catacombs will be located?
Not as of yet. Norvin has not done anything to explore for catacombs within the church. And no one has mentioned anything like that to him.
I don't mean for this church, but a lot of them probably
Oh.
have like a similar layout, so would
yeah,
Norvin know like
under
where roughly to look at? Like, okay.
Yeah. Construction varies on buildings, but there is no like common, like it's always at the entrance is always at the head or at the back or anything like that. There's an entrance somewhere. It is below it. Plus, it sounds like this place just got built on top, so whether or not there is an obvious entrance is a whole other thing.
Mexico City style.
Yeah.
More like Paris.
That too.
Rome! People like putting dead people under cities. So,
Well, it's convenient.
I was thinking because in Mexico City they cut the top off the temple and stuck the city on top of it.
oh yeah. So, approaching is Linwy, and is just like, Brother Norvin, you've made it quite early. In maybe like an hour, we might need someone of your stature to like help with some of the rope and banner work for the upper parts. If you're busy though, it's fine. We'll figure it out.
I'll make myself available around that time.
Good.
Hopefully the meeting still happens without the high priest there.
What? What?
No, that very out of character.
It's like right there.
That was so out of character. That was in like the 4th dimension.
He's just like, oh, very good. Have you seen the high priest? Yeah, I haven't seen him back. I'm not worried yet. They said early afternoon he should be returning, but we had one of the upper clergy send him a message and didn't get a reply, so I don't know. There's some concern.
I think he'll be fine. Like you said, he commonly does this, so I don't think there's anything to worry about yet.
Fair enough. Well, your friends are welcome to take seats and participate as well. I don't know how much other people are going to like the input of the adventuring types, other than just, people that come in and out of the city, but not my business particularly, but
That's fine. I don't care. Politics suck.
fair. All right. Moving on.
That low-key startled me.
Because Tay's not on the screen,
Still there.
but we all got the audio.
I mean, perhaps if the people had some sort of like coliseum or games of some sort, that would be interesting.
Where people harm each other for entertainment.
What, you've never done that?
No!
Oh,
Fun.
Our whole
this is more common I guess it's more common where I'm from.
the whole religion is
It's-
built
Yeah, it's
around
pretty
common
fun,
love
and I punch Lucian.
Right in the gut.
Punching me?
Yeah, right in the gut.
Can I, block it?
I'd say go roll an attack.
I feel like Lucian is surprised by this as well.
Surprise
Charlie
round?
just starting a fist fight with the monk.
16
Oh.
hit.
16?
That I'm. No, that does not hit.
There,
Damn.
I picture Lucian just like raising a knee and blocking the punch, and it's just like a, what are you doing?
Stop.
Stop it.
Well, I'm
It's
just
a
gonna
mess.
draw my sword and kind of like toss it, and then it's like gonna like flip around, and then I'm like try and catch it and like balance it on my hand with like the pommel end, and it's just like you've never, entertained people with a blade before.
Make a performance check.
Yeah.
Literally my character backstory. So
The problem with planning for an hour is then people start throwing swords in the air and catching them.
it's fun. It's fun though. It's a 24.
Oh yeah, not a
Oh,
problem. And it's just like, please, but weapons aren't supposed to be out in the church.
I toss it back up. Grab the pommel and.
Wonderful for you all. I'm Brother Norvin. I'm gonna get back to work. I'll see you around. And he like
I'll-
scoots off.
See you later. Norvin waves and kind of just keeps walking.
But yeah, priests are all moving around. Nobody's in particular like watching you or anything. But what are you all doing?
Walk into
I'm
like
just
the.
sticking with them.
Norvin's gonna head away from the main congregation area towards like the side rooms to start checking them out, looking for the stairs down.
Gotcha. Let's have Norvin make an investigation check.
Can I do perception?
While he's doing that, I
That's
look
not
to
what this kind of
Lucian.
check is.
While Norvin goes off, I look to Lucian and I say, I learned that trick from Malarian.
That's
Oh,
a
Lucian's
2.
2.
Oh no!
You walk into a side room, and it's like a storage room, and there's like 3 priests gathering boxes, and they just look at you kind of funny, and you're like, probably not it. You turn. There's a realization hits probably Charlie, Lucian, and Ravi that if you all wanted to get all of the gold for yourself for whatever reason, Norvin is like lost in like systematically opening doors to rooms that aren't gonna go anywhere. Easy enough to slip away if you ever wanted to, but
I'm going
It's-
to do exactly that.
it's starting to get sad at some point.
Norvin,
Yes.
Norvin,
Norvin,
Yes?
come here, boy.
let's
What?
start. Let's let's start at the lowest point in the temple. Can you take us to like the lowest floor or anything?
I'm new to this church, the same as you. I'm unsure of where that would be.
Just pretend like you know where you're going.
Okay, Norvin will march, I guess, to another door. I don't know.
No, Norvin, that's just another person's room.
Oh, right. He'll look for some stairs. Oh, you know what? Are there any other priests nearby?
Oh yeah, a bunch.
Norvin will walk up to one of them and said, I was told to go and grab some banners on the lower floor. I'm unsure of how to get there as I'm new here.
Oh, okay, sure. Hey, can you take this out for me? And one of the dwarven priests is like, yeah, that's fine. Just throw it on top. He's, well, I can't see, but I know where I'm going. And he starts walking up. He goes, this way. Priest leads you all down to the lower floor that Ravi and Norvin went to interrogate the prisoner. You can see that that one door is still like barred with one of the or the same elven guard that you all would remember from yesterday, standing guard, and it kind of gives you like the how's it going nod as you all walk by, and the priest takes you to the end of the hall, which kind of wraps around in a staircase, and he's like, yes, this is the bottom floor. I'm not sure where the banners are, but yeah, there's some storage in here.
I'll find them. Thanks for the help.
Of course. Heads back up. And the 4 of you, or the 3 of you find Lucian already there. Just, like, suspiciously like split off from the group and is far ahead of the slower investigation that was happening.
That
But you all burn about an hour just kind of, you know,
Oh man.
putzing around until you eventually get to the downstairs.
you're slow.
I had to check them,
I'm-
you know, have to make sure.
I'm gonna check for thieves' cant anywhere. Just
Ah.
looking around, seeing if there's anything
Smart.
like that.
Smart.
Yes. Make an investigation check. Lucian, what's going on?
Are there any like bookshelves with like suspicious books that you just tilt and a secret passage opens?
Make an investigation check.
We're going
I have
down
it-
like another spiral staircase. You said, right? Onto
You are,
a floor
uh,
below where the prisoner was.
There's ground floor with the main church. There's a floor below that where it seems like most of people's like living quarters are at, and then this is the floor below that where there's some storage, but it's mostly unused.
Okay.
11.
That's
11. You
16 for looking for hidden passages.
you spot a casual thieves' cant mark that is just like a pair of like right angles kind of facing each other, and it is the symbol for someone had sex here. It's a like mark of pride when you sneak into somewhere you're not supposed to be and do some things you weren't supposed to do there.
It's literally a 69. They
It-
just
it-
put a 69 on the wall.
Pretty much. But it's a real quick like
thing can't
it's real quick like
Lucian
chip
knows
chip chip
I
chip, and you
here.
can like head out. You know.
That's great.
Nice.
Lucian kind of walking around. There are some old bookshelves, like a sturdy wood that are set up. You check all of them pretty thoroughly. It takes you a minute, but you go through all of them, and it's all just like loose books that are sitting on the shelves.
It's all the
Uh,
books.
All the books. The slight tug on any of them doesn't really do anything. You kind of take a look behind the shelves with the elven and like dark vision. You can kind of see the shades of gray. You don't see a secret passage behind any of the bookshelves. Nothing stereotypical leading down into a mysterious crypt.
Lucian just comes back disappointed.
Mm-hmm. Rabbi.
I don't know if my intelligence is high enough for this, but I want to look for two things if I can. Either a draft coming from the walls or anything,
Sure.
or scrapes on the floor from like something being pushed around.
Interesting to look for.
Specifically one place to another place, like over like repeatedly.
I would say we'll make this a perception check as you're just
Okay.
looking for these very obvious kind of marks.
Someone want help?
I will help.
Okay.
Norvin notices he's doing this, and we'll give him guidance on that.
Oh, sick.
Nice.
Let's go. And I'm gonna give myself Bardic Inspiration too.
Ooh, nice. All of the dice.
Oh, nice. That's pretty good. So that's Sorry, I gotta think here.
Math.
I'm not good at that.
Math is the theme of the night.
23.
Ravi's better at math than Jonah.
23. Looking out, and you take a moment. There are some reflections of light that you can use your sword to kind of catch the edge of and gleam across everything to create like the god rays of dust
Oh, hell
flying
yeah.
through the air. And you slowly like comb it across, and you're like, okay, slowly falling, moving slowly, normal movement, very normal. Nothing.
Damn it.
And you take a look and you do a quick scan over, and there's no grooves in the floor indicating something sliding out or going across. You are very confident there is nothing in this room that is a link to a secret passage.
Are there any doors down here?
Yeah, there's a little side room. There's side rooms, but it's all there are no. I'm not gonna make you make 10 different checks for like random rooms that are technically side rooms. But no, there's just you all spend another hour here. You're approaching that noon time frame where there's just nothing to be found down in this basement level.
Norvin, does Does that head priest have a room?
Norvin would know the head priest room is on the first floor, just like to the left of the main stage in the cathedral.
Yes, he does. It's next to the cathedral. We should check that out as well.
It's
Norvin
worth
will
a
lead
shot.
everyone to it.
It's worth a shot.
You all heading back up the stairs.
Everyone, as like before we head up, I'm gonna say, our story is if someone questions us, we are checking to see if he left any sort of note before he left.
Okay.
Good idea.
Norvin will somber on over to his
So
room.
we're lying. Got it.
You know, like a liar.
And I said no. You know, like a liar.
It's not lying if you don't get caught.
Well,
There's a tweet on the official account people can look up later.
This is not the only campaign where people casually that I am currently in where people casually slide in John Mulaney quotes. There's a character in my other campaign where that's like most of what he quotes.
I think you know
I
when
have
you
like
transcended your medium when people are quoting you in D&D games regularly.
Yeah.
So
Well,
congrats,
I
John.
have like 6 different John Mulaney gifs saved on Discord to put them into the chat at different times.
Once I hit a guy with like 2 stunning strikes 2 turns in a row, and it was just like, now I've thrown him off his rhythm.
Yeah.
I'm new in town. So
Heading
heading up the 2 staircases into the main hall. Again, there's still priests. There's starting to be. It's a little less dense now because people are starting to gather outside. But there are still the occasional priests, like, you know, walking by. So you can kind of wait for your moment, or you can just like walk right up. Ravi, yeah.
What?
Is the stage? Is it outside?
Yeah, stage is outside.
Oh, okay. So then, hopefully, then there'll be fewer people in the church during the meeting if we find said.
Seems to be
entrance.
what's going on. As the main doors
Yeah.
are open, you can see outside there are already people gathered. It seems like older people have taken a lot of the seating areas, and other people are standing nearby. People are waiting for like a proper meeting to start. Still a little thin out there. You don't feel like everyone has gathered as of yet. But
I'm gonna look to Lucian and go. Keep an eye on the outside. Give us send word if anything looks like it's going to go awry.
all right. So Lucian guarding the door.
Yeah,
No,
as long as
no, no.
Lucian's okay with that.
Yeah, I'm just casually just. I'm
Keep a
just gonna
watch.
make it look like I'm just. So.
No one is stopping anyone at the moment.
Norvin will open the door like he has purpose, like he means to be there.
He has a reason to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's have Norvin make a deception check.
I'm
What do you
slipping
mean?
into.
I have proper reason to be here.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I'm going with him.
Yeah.
I'm going with him. I mean, I don't know how I would assist him, but I would
feel
like to try to.
Charlie and Ravi are trying to be like unnoticed in the situation, and Norm is just like
Sure.
going for, I should be doing this.
Sure.
So let's get a stealth check from Ravi and Charlie to that they're not drawing attention, and Norman can make a deception check and if you notice me doing this, I'm supposed to be doing this.
26.
That's
21.
I switched
13.
back to my natural 20 dice from last week.
Oh yeah.
I'm doing better.
So with purpose and with stealthiness, 3 of you dart into the room. Lucian, you take a good look around. Make a perception check for me.
Oh. That's an 8 total.
Uh-oh,
8.
Lucian and Charlie traded.
boom.
Lucian is watching and isn't sure that she has a good time to like slip in also. She's watching around, not sure of the safety of the situation, so may need to stay on the door.
That was the plan anyway. Lucian was just gonna stay out there and make it look like they were trying to just get a quick nap in. Just
The 3 of you get in the room, and I would say everybody could make either an investigation or a perception check. They're
I'm gonna
chill.
Assuming
cast.
except for me.
I'm gonna
Except
cast
for Lucian.
detect
Lucian's
magic.
outside. Yeah.
I'm gonna cast detect magic.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, try and
17 on investigation, and I'm also looking for any thieves' cant because I know that he had that on his thing.
Oh, he had that token, yeah. So, looking around with Detect Magic, there is nothing. It is a blank room. There is a slight magic coming from inside like a hooded lantern. But it is
Cool.
blocked by the hood being shut. Ravi,
Look.
did you get a check on there?
Yeah, I did investigation, but they're exactly the same. I got a 21.
So, Norvin kind of walks over to this, like, hooded lantern thing. Norvin, what do you want to do with it?
Is it easy to, like, open without breaking or anything? Did
Yeah,
you
there's a
see the
little
thing
lever
inside
to,
of
like,
it?
lift the cover on it.
Yeah, I'd lift the cover on it.
You lift the cover, and there is, hovering in it, is this little white flame that is just flickering there. You catch it some sort of, like, permanent, like, magical torch that's contained, and it's in a hood, so you can, like, close it and open it. So it looks like it's just a little magic flashlight, so to speak.
So does it not serve any? Like, is there nothing else?
It
Where it
functions
is?
literally as a torch, except that it leaves no, like, smoke or soot or anything. It's just a means of having light.
Just the light source. Okay.
Ravi in particular, but with Charlie's help, thinking back to looking for moving drafts or scrapes in the floor, you notice that the carpet in the room is shoved right up against the wardrobe. And as you just take a foot and drag it back, you can see little marks in the wood on the floor where this wardrobe clearly, like, comes out in an arc.
I look at Charlie. I do like the the buddy cop nod.
The heist movie.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Well done. I like extend a fist.
A little, like, downward fist bump, yeah. The two of you very easily, like, just nudge it, and it does come out pretty easily. It is just on hidden hinges, and it just slides out rather quietly.
Spell.
Hmm?
I don't remember if that. Oh, okay, I do have that spell. I'm going to message Lucian, saying,
Yes.
"Oh wait, sorry. Before I message Lucian, does it look like a secret passageway, or is
yeah,
it
there's
just
totally like a spiral staircase going down. And
Okay, cool. I'll message Lucian and say, "We found an entrance.
Hey,
Make your way in when you have a chance."
I'm gonna make a perception check to see if I can see around.
Sure. I would say make an insight check.
Oh, cool. Then I have advantage on it.
You do, Moon Elf.
Sick.
Moon Elf.
Nice.
That
Play to our
is that is a 16.
Nice. Yeah, you catch people looking over at you occasionally, but they just pick, like, someone who just preferred to wait inside. Is the vibe you kind of get. Nobody's paying too much of a mind to you, so you just kind of wait for your moment and then just, like, drink and shut the door.
I just turned myself into Paper Mario.
Yeah. Norvin, do anything in particular except following the group?
I'm actually gonna take that little flame thing because I don't have dark vision, unlike I think all
I
of
was
us.
just gonna say.
Nice.
And
Everyone can see.
I'm gonna walk with that flame down the stairs.
All right. You and probably Charlie, because I don't think Charlie has any kind of dark vision whatsoever. Lights up the good 20-foot radius like a torch would, and that is a magical smokeless flame. I could assume that you all shut the thing behind you.
Yes.
Yeah.
The spiral staircase goes down and down and down. Charlie, yes.
I'm just gonna, before we do that, smooth out the carpet in another part of the room so it doesn't look moved.
Doesn't look moved. Yeah. Gotcha. There is no way to, like, tuck it up against the wardrobe again from the inside, but laying it smooth somewhere in the center of the room would be next best bet.
I'm pretty sure. I think I should. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I have a deck of cards, or at least a like small piece of paper or something.
Sure.
Yes, I do have paper. I want to just take a little piece, or like a card or something, and just slide it ever so slightly into the door. Actually, yeah, just a tiny piece of paper.
Oh, okay.
Slide it in between the door and like the door frame
If it
of
opens, this
like
will fall.
the
kind
whole
of thing,
room.
yeah.
Yeah, so
I
if the
get it.
door gets opened, it'll flutter down, and then we'll know
At least see it. Yeah.
if someone came into the room.
Cuckoo. Easily
Just-
done. A quick
just-
origami check later, and it is just right in spot. You all descend what feels like a good 4 or 5 floors down. Maybe more. It's kind of hard to tell exactly. At some point, you're just walking in a circle. But eventually, you do come out into what would be just like an old, dusty cavern. But you do see some well-carved columns. They look almost elven-inspired. Ravi, some of it looks almost a little familiar to you. It's almost elvish nobility kind of structure to the columns. Kind of a similar construction to things you've seen before. And there are open door after open door that it goes to the edge of people's like 60-foot dark vision.
I want to peek into one.
There is what looks like a ruined crypt, a smashed open stone sarcophagus, bones strewn about, like grime, and looks like had been raided at some point and is otherwise undisturbed. You check the next one. This one's a little less disturbed, but still the lid
Open.
has been like removed and is cracked on the ground next to the sarcophagus, and the body itself seems to have been like repositioned and moved. You start to get to spots that have actual doors that have only been like slightly ajar, opened, and then near the end, where you start to see the edge of your dark vision at the end of this hallway, you can see one room that is shut, with a large lock in the middle.
I want to draw my sword and get ready just in case.
Oh, sure. But looking
Just the
through,
intent
you see
for
a few
flaming.
like skeletal remains. You then start to see at the like second half of the crypts, you see still like a good 100 to 200-year-old dead but elven people of Fey ancestry who haven't fully like decomposed. What's in the typical sense? Just kind of peeking in, you see people that are more mummified than anything, and then people that look almost freshly dead, except it doesn't make sense with the grime level in the room. Yes.
Can I like see how recently dead they seem?
Yeah. Pick one and make a medicine check.
Okay. Not bad. A 17.
17. Also, give me a history check.
A history check.
Mhm.
Oh boy.
Hey, at least you have a brain.
16.
16. Looking over these ones at the last like third of the of this extended crypt area, you see people that have probably been dead, roughly 100 years. But based on some things about like elven mythology, that elves just tend not to decay the same way regular people do. The moisture comes out of their body, but it takes quite a while before a pure-blooded elf will actually start to like rot. In particular,
In the
their
same
kind
way
of
that they live
connection.
forever, so
They
does their
rot.
body.
They live for almost forever. They don't start rotting right away once that's done. They
Cool.
they go for a while. But you do notice that these people are ceremonially like placed. It looks like they once had coins over their eyes. It looks like those have been all swiped. You do see patches just around the room and around the bodies that had more grime around certain areas where it's clearly like things have been taken. And as you get further down, you see ones where there's like an obvious like sword pattern that's been like lifted out. The outline
the
of
dust.
a shield next
Hey,
to
we still have the
crypt.
first grave robbers.
There's the negative image left behind of like probably
Mhm.
high end gear that was left to be buried with these people. Near the end, you see there would be 4 tombs, 2 on either side of the room, that have their doors shut with keyholes in them.
I'm drawing my, like, I'm just having my short bow ready.
Right, Ravi.
You said there was like one big door at the very end, and then the
Yeah.
2 more, right?
There are 2 on each side. One of which is the large, more ceremonially carved.
Okay.
Like this is the big door kind of thing.
You want to try the small one first?
Norvin's gonna set the flame on the ground,
Mhm.
pull out his mace and his shield, and cast light on his shield.
Nice.
Oh.
Doubling up the light factor in the halls here.
Well,
That's
also,
150 lumens right there.
I'm not carrying the flame no more, so.
Is there anything? Ooh, could I cast light on my bow staff?
Yes. With
I can do that.
3 torch
Can
levels
the-
of light.
Can the door be opened with the key, or does it need to be
There's
lockpicked?
half a dozen
or
coming in from
just
behind.
open?
Alright.
Ah, yeah, just stay on top of the mute. Charlie, what?
Does the door just open? Does the key fit? Does it need to be lockpicked?
Pulling out the keys.
The
You're
small
gonna
one
try
first.
that on one of the 3.
One of the smaller doors.
One of the smaller
one
doors?
on the left.
You try that key. It slides in without any problem, and as you go to turn, it just doesn't unlock.
Okay, I'll try to pick the lock then.
Okay. Thieves' tools.
How
Bardic
rotted-
inspiration for Charlie.
Guidance
If-
for Charlie.
Everybody.
I got a 22 without all of that.
Sick.
Everyone.
You got it for the next 10 minutes.
Everyone having your back. You're like, yeah, I'm fine though. You just sort of like,
What's the bardic inspiration? Sorry.
It's a D6, and you have it for the next 10 minutes.
Sweet.
Lucian, what's up?
How rotted? The doors are made of wood, correct?
No, stone.
Oh, I misheard that. Sorry.
Fairly flat stone.
I was gonna kick them down.
Would have been funny.
Break a leg.
Charlie, you are the first to see the door opens, but you once again see a relatively ransacked crypt. A lid that has been pushed off and it's broken. Similar outlines where things once lay against the wall, and just having a quick peek in. Another body that's it seems preserved almost. In the comparison to what you would expect from most other species, tombs, but otherwise, nothing really to take besides just a body.
Okay, I'll do the same thing with the door on the right.
So there's...
you'd
Oh,
still,
sorry, just...
you would still have your guidance and your inspiration. And what's Ravi up to?
Just to, get it in my head again, sorry.
Mhm.
So we've got a big door and a small door still, right?
You still have 2 small doors on the right, and the other door on the left is the big door.
Okay.
But
So
we,
there were 4 doors to begin with?
Yeah, 4. You've checked 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
were there any other doors in that room, or was that room just coffins?
They were the
and-
only doors that have been shut, but yeah, you all kind of peek in after Charlie's gotten the door open, and same thing, a ruined and raided old tomb of someone you don't know.
Shall we try one of the other doors?
Charlie's already on it.
Another lockpick check.
Yep, and you have that D4 from guidance and D6 from inspiration if you feel like you need it.
That's fine. I have a natural 20.
Ooh.
Hey!
Thinking that this lock is going to be pretty much the same as the last one, you just right away unlock. Slides open, and you do see pretty much the same thing again. This looks like it's been opened before, and there's and you even take a moment and kind of push it open slightly, but look in and see that it has been fully opened before, where there's like a dust accumulation from the door being opened fully, and it looks like anything that's worth anything has been pulled out of the room.
Like recently opened?
There's still layers of grime, but it's hard to put a date on how long it's been. Ravi, yeah.
They can lockpick like hell, but they can't see worth shit.
Well, you guys have 3 torches going essentially in the area.
I know. I'm making a joke about
Perception
Katie's
checks,
perception rolls. Yeah.
A lot of lockpicking is not visual. You just like feel it, and so pretty good at that.
It's
A knack.
touch and sound based, really.
So there's another lower end door, and then there is the final, the big door.
Try that
We
other
might
small
as well
door.
try the other little one, right?
Yeah, we have to.
Just in case, you know. There's a legendary magic item behind that door. We've
There's
got an
the
artifact.
Master
There's a
Sword.
cubic gate behind there. Okay, we gotta get it.
There's a Vorpal sword.
A ring of 3 wishes.
Ring of infinite. Deck of many things.
Oh no.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
The deck of many things
Okay.
is both the best and worst.
I will unlock that door. I'll try the key first, but then if that doesn't work, I'll unlock it.
Yeah, that one doesn't unlock. So another tools check. Norvin, I'm assuming guidance.
Yep, guidance again.
$14. Thank you for all of that because I rolled a 3.
Ooh.
Ooh.
You get your picks in, and you go and you find the same spot of the tumblers for this. Although very old, rusted tumblers, and you kind of push up and try to turn, but it's just not turning. This is still locked.
Yes, with a shot.
So, Norvin will walk over with his mace and put.
Quiet, Norman. Quiet. Hold on. I'm gonna take a piece of cloth, anything, and I'm gonna wrap it around whatever he's gonna use to bash this lock.
So, okay.
This is
so you wrap-
not a hanging lock of chain link. It is a lock in part of the door.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you like a.
Also, Charlie should know
Like a padlock?
lock picks are not
like a padlock.
broken. The lock does not appear to be jammed. You just made the attempt as best you could and pulled your picks out, and then but it's still solid. You didn't do bad enough to destroy anything. So could
Cool.
try again
Charlie-
if you wanted.
You could try again.
You want to give it
Yeah,
another
I'll
go?
try again.
Guidance again.
Do I still have Bardic Inspiration?
No,
No.
if you
Okay.
used it.
Cool.
I've only got a couple more of those, so I'm gonna say
Well, I get advantage on this one.
Pull the
that.
one.
Custom magic daggers.
18
And also
Nice.
half one.
out of an 8.
Ooh. Dang.
This time, yeah, you go and you feel like that tumbler is just rusted, but you manage to jam in and kink and knock something loose, and this time the door opens up. This time, you look in and you do see a shut sarcophagus with nothing that has been yet spoiled or destroyed. There's a small plaque at the bottom, right at the foot, that has not been smashed as somebody tried to get into there super hard. What would you like
My
to
bow
do?
is ready, and I'm standing back.
Loot Gremlin mode activate. Norvin.
Yes?
Is your guard against this?
He.
Technically, you're not hurting anybody, so it's probably.
It's just
Yeah,
turn around. Turn around.
I'm not hurting any weak or suffering people, so. They're
He's already dead, right?
He's already dead.
What
It's not
is-
like we can hurt him.
What does the plaque say?
In Elven, it is. It says
Oh, I can read that.
Inyan Master Potion Maker. in service of the High King and of Corallan and of all elven peoples and others in need of assistance. There's a small list of. There's a good chunk of platitudes that you're relatively familiar with skimming, and may the offerings at your side guide your way. Platitudes of that
Blah
sort.
blah blah. The afterlife thing and thing.
Loot. What Lucian read.
May your
Loot.
spirit return for an easier life of service to yourself as you have spent in a life in service of others. So it's like high honors burial for someone, and there is a small box that is right below that plaque, which you would
check it for traps.
recognize as an offering box. And there is a check it for traps kind of interlude there.
Yeah, I'm gonna run up and check it for traps.
Cool. Give me an
Guidance.
give me an investigation check with the guidance.
Ooh, 23.
Nice. You are quite confident that this is minorly trapped.
Get rid of it.
You very quickly find just a runic seal on what is just the obvious handhold to open it, and so you literally just don't grab that part, and just find the edges of the you just grab the head of the box in a weird way, and you can lift pretty safely. You feel like.
I'm gonna scratch it out anyway.
You feel like scratching it might set it off.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Just leaving it alone is probably your best option. But you creak it open. Inside, you can see what appear to be just minor. Oh, and Norvin's detect magic would actually still be going, just barely. There's with it open and the box open, you can see a slight protection aura on the contents, just in a way to make sure they don't spoil, kind of thing. Inside there are these silver cloth gloves and what looks like a very cheap metal tiara. There's a pin that looks like it is some sort of mark of service. And there's an alchemy kit that's what is it, an herbalism kit, but it's not stocked with herbs as far as you can see. It's stocked with raw liquids and powders that seem to be base element things to mix. And there's also 3 potions, one that's sort of amber and orange, and then one that's a swirl of just light and dark reds, or 2 that are the light and dark reds, and then one that is the amber and orange.
Sleight of hand, I'm gonna pocket the tiara.
Oh, just not wanting anyone to notice, just doop, doop. Yeah, make a sleight of hand check. Everyone else can make a perception check. I don't know if people care that much, but
Forgot about the tiara.
there's a pewter
The cheap
tiara.
tiara. I don't care. Give me the Vorpal sword.
15.
15? I don't think 15 beats everyone's passive perception.
Mine's a 16. Yeah.
Mine's a 15, so it meets it.
Meets, okay. So I think Norvin and probably Lucian, because they're all kind of looking right at you, notice you kind of pocket the tiara, but it doesn't look like anybody says anything. Lucian, yeah.
Lucian almost seems more interested in the silver gloves. Lucian kind of picks them up and just can anyone tell if these are magic? Or are they just nice?
Norvin,
just
looking at them,
sequin
they
glow.
are not magic. As soon as they're out of the box, the magical glow does not exist.
Okay.
They are just nice gloves for the mixing of potions.
Anybody
Is there-
want to open the sarcophagus?
Is there any magical glow coming from the sarcophagus itself?
No.
Norman's gonna say, there's nothing magic within this. I think we leave his body to rest.
Got it.
Does detect magic I don't remember. Does detect magic have like a you can't see through like objects or something?
Certain thicknesses block, depending on the material.
1 foot of stone, 1 inch of metal, a thin sheet of
so-
lead, or 3 feet of
So
wood.
if it's a lead-lined sarcophagus, it might be hiding a
I mean,
axe of the dwarvish lord.
you never know.
Our job was to come down here and check it out. I say we check it out, and I draw my short bow again.
I
Which
look
seems
to
to be-
Lucian, and then
Norvin, very carefully, as to not disturb the contents within it, gently removes the lid.
All right, give me an athletics check with disadvantage.
all three of us?
No, just Norman. He's working on it.
Okay.
oh, okay.
With disadvantage, you
Yeah,
said.
you're being very careful.
Can I help him?
Well, Lucian and I were pushing it.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, you guys could assist. So just a straight athletics check.
That'd be an 18 then.
18.
Fine.
Managing to slide it off with the others kind of helping balance it so it doesn't collapse and destroy like the others. You get a good peek in, and it is, especially with your light sources, it is just another body that has not been spoiled or disturbed, laying there peacefully.
Now, is there
any fun stuff in there?
any magical glow now that the lid's off?
Nope. There are some robes that look like if you touched them, they would disintegrate. And there are two platinum pieces technically. There's a platinum piece on each eye. Each are marked with the symbol you would recognize as Corlin, the like primary god of the elves.
It's free real estate.
Norvin will move the lid back over the sarcophagus.
Ah!
With assistance, kind of. Charlie, you're right there.
I wanted to poke the robes to make them disintegrate.
So did I.
No attacking the dead people.
It's not attacking it, it's just ruining their outfit.
Don't disturb the graves of the dead.
I'm a pirate. That's part of my job.
Who would desecrate a high holy person?
Yes.
Practically tossing
We
a body
already-
in a river.
Yeah, we already killed
I want to
him,
grab the
so-
potions if no one else has already.
It looks like no one else has as of yet. So,
I thought we made it clear that Lucian has no respect for religion.
in any case, Lucian was balancing the sarcophagus on the other side where it was not open, and was then directed to get it shut carefully. So Ravi grabs the 3 potions. Due to my lack of desire to bookkeep the exact contents, there is a potion of climbing, and there are 2 regular potions of healing.
Regular potions, not
Regular
small.
potions of healing.
Nice.
Okay, just a second. I'll go put Daddy in.
There's
Who
also,
should
so you, Lucian grabbed the silver cloth gloves.
Yes.
Charlie grabbed the pewter tiara, and then there's the iron pin. That is some sort of official mark of service.
I feel like we
No.
should check if anything in that box is magic.
You have pulled it
I
out.
have to
Norman's
take
looked at
magic
it.
out.
Nothing's magic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Norvin will take the pin and just gently set it on top of the center of the sarcophagus in like respect to the dude.
Respectfully, yeah. And it does look like the symbol of Corlin kind of intertwined with some other markers that you don't recognize. As far as its like design. Ravi, yeah.
Just since it hasn't come up before, do you have any special potion drinking rules?
Bonus action to drink yourself is a relatively common house rule, which I am pretty okay with personally. But
Okay.
It usually means I want to buff the thief in some way, which happens when we come across.
I was
thing
just-
that
I was just checking because I know, like rules as written, it's action for both. But
right
Which
rules
is
is written.
Silly.
It's a thief exclusive to chug the potion, I think, as a bonus action. But we're generalizing that, and for feeding yourself a potion, action to feed somebody else a potion. That's generally my
makes
potion
sense.
rules. And then I let thieves do some funky stuff when they get some wands. But we'll cover that when you guys ever find a wand.
Are any of us thieves?
Yes. There's a
Oh, I thought.
well,
I
I
thought
mean,
you were an assassin.
A, yes. B, more specifically, yes.
All of us.
Are any of you
Um,
thieves?
probably.
Any
Or
unnecessary.
Maybe
I mean-
not Norvin, but like the rest of us,
I
yeah.
think we moved on from thievery to grave robbing.
That's fair.
And murder.
So,
And
No,
also
Norvin's-
murder.
What's a D&D party
you
without
have
a little
a
bit of murder?
large door behind you. Getting a closer look at it, there is filigree, and again, having now seen this symbol of Corlin, you notice it is weaved into a lot of the imagery, all the way through this like exterior filigree and then onto the actual like lock itself. I believe Charlie and Norvin, I think, are sitting on a key.
Yeah.
That is
Norvin will use
costly to this.
his key to try and open the door.
Norvin's gonna just go for it with Charlie holding back. Norvin's getting to the edge of your detect magic. Give me an Arcana check for Norvin.
Arcana, I'm not the best at those. I'm not the best. That is a 2.
2. Why am I looking up stuff? There is a heavy magical aura from behind the door. You don't feel like it's on the door. You feel like it's something contained within. That in the walls are nearly a foot thick, so you're just getting the edge of the kind of the sense of the magic. Ravi, yeah.
Charlie, you want to do your thing?
So yeah, I'll do my thing.
I mean, you have a key. You might as well try that, right?
Norvin
I'll
also has
try-
keys and is just walking up to it with the key.
Oh, Norvin
Yeah.
was okay.
Yeah, Norvin's just walking up, putting the key in, turning it.
Lucien's ready to just attack if it turns out to be something.
I've already
something
I've had
there.
my sword out for a while
Right.
now.
Everybody just
Bows
like, there is a chink, and the door. These doors open outward, with a unique like hinge setup where there is no exterior hinge, but they still open outward, due to the strange hinge work that is on the inside there. Looking in, there is a seemingly at first glance just ostentatious yet weirdly simple grave. There is no sarcophagus to speak of. There is a body on top of something like just a stone slab that is encased in some sort of crystal or glass. The body looks completely unspoiled and nearly fresh and ready to move and could get up and walk around if it weren't for a bloodless slash across the neck in front of where this body is laid. And the body is laid in the same like peaceful ceremonial position as the rest that you've seen. There is a dais facing forward. Similar crystalline structure is encasing some sort of parchment within, as well as a small notebook that's been set on top of that. And then there's a 25 marker pair of circles that kind of entwine the area kind of but from above with these like 25 slots that are set up. Charlie, yes.
Checking for traps.
Sure. Kind of grabbing Norman and be like, let me look around for a second. Give me an investigation check.
Was the little like notebook placed directly on top of the parchment, or was it on top of the container?
There is almost like solid crystalline slab that's containing this parchment, and then the notebook is just on top of that.
So it's outside of the structure.
Right.
21.
21. Looking around and checking things, you don't see anything that is trapped. You do see, without too much trouble, really, there is a small pouch that is set off to the side. And wait, what pouch? Yeah, pouch could still fill out all that. So it would be like a moderate sized pouch, a little heftier, like almost side satchel kind of thing. That is just sort of like tucked away in a corner that looks like it was almost meant to be like maybe not noticed immediately if somebody were to walk in here, but it is set off to the side as such. There is again there is some obvious grime patterns of sword and shield. Ravi, make a perception check for me.
Okay.
I'm gonna yoink the bag.
Grabbing
Which
that,
die to
you can
use?
hear the slight rattle of small stones inside.
Natural 20.
Shit. So, uh, so there's a person in your backstory, who showed up one day with a sword. A sword they did not have before. A sword that equipped them to eliminate, I'd say, a person you were close to, but all of the people you were close to.
Yeah.
There's a particular structure to it, emblematic of like something elemental or something very stylized, an outline that would be recognizable on a battlefield immediately. And it's like, you know, when we play a video game and somebody's sword is clearly a rose that has an edge on it, something sort of like that. But what do you imagine when you imagine their extraordinarily stylized sword?
I think of it almost like it's got like just a slight curve to it,
Mm.
and then like the back edge kind of keeps going, and then it kind of like hooks in and then comes and meets it at that point. So it kind of does like a
Up
sort
and
of
down,
thing.
almost like a hunting utensil that's been extended and
Yeah.
repurposed into a full
Yeah.
functional sword. You see that exact outline in soot on the wall. Full flashbacks ensuing, heart pumping and realizing where it was claimed from. And you all are looking in on this tomb. Ravi having a minor panic attack next to some of you.
Does Norvin notice Ravi's having this panic attack?
I don't know how well Ravi's hiding this kind of scenario.
he isn't.
Not well.
Are you okay?
You doing good, buddy?
I'll be fine. Yes.
No. Sit down, drink some water, have a little snack. You are not okay.
It's less of like a panic attack and more of like he's like, you see every gear in his head turning all at once,
Yeah.
and he's just like super like zoned in on like nothing.
Non-flashbacks.
Yeah,
Just
like the
Norvin's gonna ask, do you mind telling us what you're flashbacking thinking about right now?
I gesture with my sword to the outline.
one right on the instant.
I know that sword.
Good.
It's not the one I'm fond of.
For clarification, is the sword actually there?
No, there is a clear like soot outline. Something that would happen if grime were to accumulate for 100 years somewhere, and then something was taken from that spot. There would be the clear outline of a very stylized edge to a weapon.
So there was a sword here, but there isn't anymore.
Yeah.
Is there any other part of the room, or is this the entire room?
No, it is a pretty small room. Charlie picking up the satchel with a slight rattle to it. There is still
Which I'm now rooting through.
Ravi, yes.
Is there anything else like around the sword? Like,
No, it had a very clear outline of itself. There are other spots
Okay.
where there's a patchwork of other things that would have been here, and each one becomes very clear in your mind. There's the outline of a cloak, and then the cloak outlines are relatively straightforward, but it flashes back to the cloak.
yeah, I see the
There's-
cloak, and then I'm like, that's got to be that cloak.
Yeah, that's got to be that cloak. There's like an outline of like armor, and you're like, that's got to be that armor. And like you don't know at a certain point if it's just you imagining these things are exactly the same things, or if they definitely were. Some of them don't have as confirmable outlines
Damn
as
it.
the sword does. Charlie and Lucian make like just a general intelligence check for me.
12.
Was not
16?
expecting backstory.
16. The two of you look up at this pattern, and it starts out as, again, the symbol of Corlin just like carved into the ceiling, and then there are the little like studs of where like indentation spots where something would go, and then you're looking at it and you're thinking of it. And Lucian, you make the connection first with like long nights on the ocean when there's a clear sky out, and like you're looking at it and you're like, this is related to phases of the moon, which Corlin is kind of tied to the moon. There's some extra spots that don't make sense with that, but it seems like there are slots meant for the moon and another celestial body that are entwined around where this tomb is.
Is it like a map or like a star chart or something?
It seems ritualistic, but you're not exactly sure. But it's something related to that. Charlie, yeah.
I'm going to point that out to everyone.
Right.
Looking in the bag, does it look like the contents of it would fit in these grooves?
It looks like some would, and as you look in at it, these are small to moderate-sized diamonds, worth somewhere between 100 and 1,000 gold pieces each. You do some quick mental math. There's 10 to 15,000 gold pieces worth of diamonds in this little satchel.
I'm gonna keep that to myself for now and just go look at the book.
Sure.
Heyday.
Snap me out of that.
Kind of reach up and be like, huh, interesting. And just like, can't even really tuck it away. It's like it's a full like triple pouch kind of side piece there. But reaching up and grabbing the book, there's a seal on the cover. Norvin, you recognize as the seal for the High Priest of Ilmer.
Motherfucker.
You all get a chance to kind of thumb through the thing. There's a series of like journal entries that are not dated in any way. First one is reading, here lies Hanan, said to be child of Corlin, elven holy person of some kind. They could apparently call forth the full power of their god onto the material plane. They apparently created this scroll and ended their own life in some attempt to make themselves available to any future in need of salvation. There's a few like side note entries that don't seem that relevant, and then there is an entry of it does indeed seem that these 25 diamonds that are faceted in the ceiling are meant to serve as material component costs to execute the properties of the scroll to return them to life if need be. From my research, it seems we have roughly another 70 years before the edge of the time frame of this casting occurs.
I thought you were gonna say 70 years before, like, whatever apocalypse happens and we need them again.
Ravi makes that comment as Charlie's reading out loud, and then Charlie does one of the like, well, hang on. Continuing to read, the High Priest makes notes of communes that he's made with Ilmer, and trying to discern the importance and necessity of this entity. And it's like, with my communes, I found that within the next 10 years, there will indeed be a great cataclysm that this individual alone could assist in preventing, and must be resurrected as soon as possible. Doing more research before making an attempt to execute the scroll. Charlie, yeah.
Just for future reference, if Charlie ever points, it's with their middle finger.
Okay. Just
Hold on.
Hold on.
wait. Wait, I am reading. There is a like an angrily scrawled passage, which is just The full contents of the tomb have been raided. All of their personal effects, all of the diamonds that were meant to serve in the resurrection have all been taken. With Zarek's betrayal, it's clear I cannot trust anyone with the future of this plan. There's a there is a time. It's like I've incrementally increased the taxes on the people of the city and asked for aid from other areas that I can. Trying to make these impacts as low as possible, recruiting as many priests as I can to assist the less fortunate in this area. With luck, a diamond merchant has come to town. This Genasi has healing talents even beyond my own. Still, her prices are quite steep, but I have managed to accumulate another 5,000 gold pieces worth of the 25,000 gold pieces needed to execute this plan. Resurrection must take place. If only a few years left before whatever cataclysm is going to occur. There is a final note. It is just like, I have managed to gather 15,000 gold worth of diamonds. These gems are utterly needed. I'm still another 10,000 away. Only a single year awaits before Ilmer's warning comes to pass. The people have become restless with their taxes. An anti-religious group is fomenting outrage among the common people. They're planning some sort of protest tomorrow, and I fear violence may occur. A message has been sent to the Elven Kingdoms, and I hope they can keep the peace, and we can fulfill the prophecy before things come to pass.
We
That is
killed
the
the
last
good
entry.
guy.
Yeah, we did.
We
did kill the good guy. Oh no!
Oh my god.
I mean, you had the
I just
word
did-
of a prisoner on your side. Ravi, yes.
No. Just to be clear, you said Zarek, right?
Yes.
Yeah, damn it. Oh,
Who's
my hands
Zarek?
are so clammy.
In and out of character, clammy hands found. Have a Ravi make a strength saving throw for me.
Oh, okay. Pretty good. It's +0, so it's 16.
16. You nearly drop your sword when you realize that Zarek apparently
What's here?
was here, got the implements that he needed from this location, stole 25,000 gold worth of diamonds that apparently funded his expeditions, and also apparently thwarted the resurrection of some incredible figure that could have prevented some sort of cataclysm that's happening within a year.
Uh-oh.
I'll show the
diamonds.
diamonds to
no.
Lucian and see how many of them aren't needed.
Because it's only ones of a certain size, right?
He said in the journal it said he had 15,000 essentially
Does
out
Charlie,
of 25,000.
is Charlie taking a closer look at the satchel of diamonds? Yeah, Charlie did a quick rifle through, but are
Yeah.
you taking a closer look? Taking a closer look, you've got about 10 1,000 gold diamonds and another
No.
50 or so much smaller 100 gold diamonds, kind of equaling out to 15,000 gold worth of diamonds. And in the journal it specified a certain value of diamonds needed for the ritual. It didn't specify needing them to go back in the facets or anything like that.
Okay.
Just needing that much
Are
material
there-
component.
Are there diamonds still in the facets? I'm guessing not.
Nope. They've all, and as you take a closer look, they've all been gouged out, hastily chiseled out of their mounting spots.
I was not
oh,
expecting backstory
Ravi.
this early.
Ravi, it sounds like you have a friend who, we need to go hunt down.
He wouldn't
Question.
have them. He
Question.
would have
how,
used them.
How long have we
Take
been
his
down
leave,
here?
then.
You've all only been down here another 10 or 20 minutes, really. You kind of took your time checking some of all the tombs, but not too much time has actually passed. Charlie, yeah.
You know where we could get a pretty hefty sum of diamonds?
The Northern Mountains.
We have a job that we still have to do.
True.
That is
Onward
true.
for adventure. And
I mean,
apparently saving the world?
She said that she'll give us money equal to the amount we bring back. She didn't say anything about there being a specific amount.
that we have to bring back. Hmm.
We could just...
Yeah, if we can find 10,000 gold pieces worth of diamonds.
I mean, diamonds are pretty valuable.
Well, yeah, but they're still diamonds, and they're incredibly rare.
That's a myth. That's a myth. The diamond trade is actually heavily controlled.
That's a myth about Earth.
Fair enough.
You also gather that it took the priest a good 10 years to slowly accumulate the 15,000
Slowly.
Worth,
Slowly.
while also running a city and trying to keep people taken care of. But
Putting away his 50 gold at a time.
well, that was given to Alil. You're not sure what Alil does at this point, but
But he was a priest with a job.
We're not.
Stealing and smuggling is literally my job.
And mine. You got two people who are very good at thievery on your side. I
So-
think we got this.
At this moment, Norvin's gonna say, "I have a government meeting I need to attend."
We will wait for you at the Flapping Dragon.
After all of that.
I have to set up the new government with the missing high priest.
missing.
Yeah, missing.
Missing forever.
Missing.
Ah,
Well, it seemed like he had a lot of rumors about him, so maybe they'll just assume he skipped town. The rumors got too much to handle.
yeah, good scapegoat.
By the DM's face, I'm gonna say no, that won't work.
I just won't say anything.
I have something I'm gonna say, but I'm waiting for a certain condition. But I'm just there's some faces I'm gonna look at when it happens, and I'll be glad I'm recording.
Norvin's gonna start heading back, I guess, right now.
Are we just gonna start hearing boss music?
I wanna.
This is
Can I look at the person more closely, see if there's any identifiers that I recognize?
They are
Mark Rober.
They are.
They are Mark Rober.
You have a very clear look at them, especially because they are so well magically preserved. Aside from this just one slash across the throat. Although the slash across the throat also it takes you a second to kind of catch your breath and gather yourself. But they're a non-binary individual. There are masculine and feminine traits to their form. They are an old guard of elf. One of mutable features, and they're
700-ish years.
It's kind of hard to tell. You remember from history stuff that the way to really tell is from the eyes. But looks maybe middle-aged in their elven lifespan, so they probably got a good 300 years left on their natural clock. But sometimes looks can be deceiving in that regard. But relatively undescript in so many ways. They're not overly bulky in any particular proportion. They have this auburn hair that's just kind of loose against the back where their head rests. They're a ancient, apparently very powerful elf. Yes, Ravi.
They're I wouldn't recognize anything from either a history or an epic poem or something that I would recognize.
Say from checks you've already made, you do you go and read the name that Charlie had pronounced, and reading it again, it's Henayen, which is an old, almost like it's an old dialect of Elvish for just child of God, and it's almost you almost didn't put it together because it was almost too literal. It's the child and God married into one name, and you're just oh, this is someone. Nobody walks around with the name Child of God among elves without being eye rolled to death. But unless they can back it up, and apparently this person could back it up.
Are we about to resurrect a fucking demigod?
And go ahead and make a history check for me.
Sure.
It's possible you've heard of exploits.
I haven't, because that's a natural 1.
Ooh.
You haven't heard.
It's almost like all mention of anything they've ever done was supernaturally erased from history, in that you've never heard one hair of any part of this, which seems impossible for someone of that kind of power level that seems to be talked about.
I like to think it's just because I heard the name Zarek, and now I'm just like in like
just trance mode. This is nothing. No one's ever spoken of this person. Lucian.
Could I also make a history check to see if like maybe they have like songs written about them? Because
I would actually say no on that. There is nothing that would tie to anything in your background that you don't know of.
Might as well. I figured I might as well ask.
Sure. All right. So what are the three of you doing? Because Norvin is heading upstairs.
I'm gonna head upstairs too, and I'm gonna start walking towards the beach.
Where is the satchel of diamonds?
In my bag.
Stuff it into your backpack. Cool.
Smart.
I'm just gonna hang on to them, I guess, for now.
And I'm being really stealthy when I'm leaving.
Going as quietly as you can. All right. And Lucian and Ravi following?
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
Is there a window in the head priest's room I can just...
You all get up to the head priest's room after Norvin's gone through. There is like a stained glass window for light, but you'd have to smash it to get out of it.
As much as
I feel like we follow Norvin just out the door to make it look like we're supposed to be here.
Yeah, as much as I've always wanted to smash out a stained glass window, I'm not going to. I'm not going to live that dream right now.
Right. Norvin and everyone else comes out, and there is a gathering that there is a hubbub about. From the exit out the church, there's a gathering of several hundred people standing around with a few different groups that seem to be waiting to speak. And as the other three of you notice as Norvin is not accosted, but like is kind of walked up to by the same priest that you all saw earlier. He's like, Brother Norvin, yes, have you heard anything about the High Priest? I know I asked you this before, but people were expecting him back by now, and the meeting's about to start, and, Brother Thymus is next in line, and he's not the most forceful personality to be leading negotiations to run a government here.
I don't know where he is. I could try and look for him, but I suppose you already have men doing that. Do you not?
We have a few, but we've been busy with the setup. We could send more?
I think that would be wise to keep looking and hope that we'll find him.
Oh, very well. We'll be done, yes. Yo! Kind of rushes off to go tell a couple of priests to, like, stop setting up drinks and, like, go look for the High Priest. Lucian.
As they're talking, Lucian's basically just gonna disappear and head out of the monastery grounds to the word is escaping me. The flapping dragon.
Right. Charlie is splitting off and just heading to the beach, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Commentators from the background. So, somebody's paying attention. So Charlie's heading for the beach. Lucian's heading for Flapping Dragon. Ravi, what are you up to?
I want to see. Does it look like there's anyone, like, just around the meeting, even though it hasn't started yet, that looks like they're not actually from either group? Like they're kind of like a mediator sort of person.
It looks like there are people waiting for a mediator. Seems to be what's happening, and the crowd is starting to get restless, expecting a mediator to show up. And there is a very nervous-looking human in his like mid to late 20s, with a really patchy beard, that's just kind of nervously keeps looking at like the roads that are farthest from the church, looking and expecting and looking at another direction. And then someone will come up and talk to him and be like, just a minute, I'm sure it'll be just a moment longer, thank you. We'll be starting soon. Is what I've been told.
I don't know what to do.
I remembered I was going to do something, but that plan can probably wait till later, unless... just a quick question. Is there like a non-magical jeweler in town?
Probably. Are they on the wealthier side of town, especially? That person would probably be of an income level that they'd be here at the meeting, wanting to know what happens.
He's gonna break and
with the
enter.
local government.
I'm not gonna break and enter.
Steal some diamonds.
So,
Now it's tempting.
Okay, I want to do something. It might be really dumb.
That's great.
Narvin's gonna walk over to the stage.
Hmm?
And he's kind of gonna wave at the human and tell him to come here.
You talking about Famous? The he's kind of like next in line.
Yeah.
Yeah. He kind of looks at Brother Norvin, right?
Yes, famous.
Have you heard? Have you gotten word yet? Do we know what's gone with the High Priest? Does he have food poisoning or something?
No, we still don't know where he is, but the crowd is starting to seem restless, so I think it's best to just start this without him so far.
Just begin. You
can lead this, can you not?
I can mediate a discussion, I suppose, yes. Sure. Make a persuasion check. He is hesitant to just lead it himself.
Nat 20, but that's a 19 because of a -1. So, nat 20.
Oh no.
Hey, first-year substitute teacher, how would you like to be principal? And be like, oh, what? So, Charlie, what are you doing?
Dash, dash, bonus action, dash to the beach.
Just full sprint on your little legs.
Heading down to the sand. Are you crossing the river first, or are you just going straight to the sand?
Straight to the sand.
Cool. There are a pair of docks on this side of town, but moving and dashing, pretty soon you're going to find yourself right between the two of them, just a good amount of sand and water to yourself. Ravi, yes.
Anyone around me? Oh, sorry.
Well, it takes you a minute to get all the way down the city. But Ravi, yeah.
I wanna stick with Norvin and
Okay.
just kind of like keep an eye on the crowd and keep like to see if anything
Sure.
hinky is going on.
Let's have Ravi make a perception check.
Okay. I feel like with disadvantage because of how
events of the
that just
day.
went downstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow. It was an 8 and a 4, so that 4 becomes a 7.
7. All right. Eyes sort of glazed over. I mean, you just see restless townsfolk and of various income levels. Norvin, what were you trying to do?
So, now that I've convinced this first-year substitute principal now
Yeah.
to lead this discussion, I'm going to reach out and touch him and just say, you got this. I'm going to use Enhance Ability, and I'm going to do Eagle Splendor for Charisma. I'm assuming this mediation would be Charisma, mostly.
Charisma, probably, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to do Eagle Splendor on him.
Nice.
So he has advantage on Charisma checks.
All right. He notices
I'm
you
also-
casting a spell, but yes. Doesn't resist or anything.
I am also... So I tell him, I just gave you something that should help you throughout this meeting. I am also going to walk up on stage, and I'm going to walk... Is the other party on the stage?
There are multiple, like, seems like people that are together that are waiting to speak. Some seem like they are, like, part of something, and some just seem like random people that want to speak. But yeah, there's a few groups.
Okay. So I'm going to say, does everyone here promise to say the truth when they're speaking?
everybody just kind of, the whole crowd hasn't even like died down yet, and so there's just like the individual groups all look over and be like, "Who are you?"
I'm filling in for a little bit because we can't currently find the high priest, but
You can't.
we should get this started soon.
So under what authority are you speaking?
Under
Kill.
the authority of the interim priest, the high
This
priest.
hulking dragon man just kind of steps up. Doesn't have to look up very far to meet your gaze, but is on the stage with you in about one step. It's just like, "Thank you, young man. I think we'll get started, if that's all right. It sounds like this brother Thamus is next in line of being succession of in charge of this church and can, I'm sure, mediate discussion. Brother
Yes.
Thamus, you have something to say to start us off." And then, like, steps down off the stage. "Thank you, Brother Norvin. We are all gathered here to listen to proposals for governance due to yesterday's events. We understand there's some displeasure with how things have been run in many groups, although not all those involved were necessarily in the best interest of these people that live here. Still, everyone should have a chance to have their voice heard, and a vote of some kind should be had on proposals." And there's some grumbles from like the richer people. He goes, "Please don't interrupt. You'll all have a chance to speak. First, we have Mr. Lug Aranen. He's like checking some notes. He's like, "The Flame of the West, 3rd General to High King Ilium." And the dragon man once again like steps up away from the elven woman that you with the braided top knot that you all recognized from the day before, and gives a nod. "Thank you, brother. Yes, we've a proposal to ensure the security and the stability of your town and what seems like inconsistent leadership. Like, some things are proposals and things start to be said to the townsfolk, but yeah, what it's
So before they start saying the proposals and their intentions for the town, I want this to be an honest discussion.
They've ignored you and have just started speaking, and are fully speaking over you.
I'm gonna cast Zone of Truth right on the stage.
All right. You go to cast Zone of Truth. You make your hand motions, and the energy comes out and is smacked out of the air. You look behind you, and there's the elven woman with the top knot bun is looking at you and is like, "Why don't you come have a seat with me, brother?"
I walk over to her and I'm like, "What was
while
that
people are
for?"
speaking more loudly on stage, he goes, "Frankly, you do not have the authority to insist on how things are done here. My information says you've been here a grand total of, 3 days? You're going to let the locals decide how they wish to be governed. Not influence things."
I'm not influencing things.
Norvin,
I am
Norvin,
making sure they remain truthful.
Norvin,
Sure.
Norvin, I, as much as I know your intentions are true, these people need to be able to do it for themselves.
She kind of like leans almost just past Norman to speak to Raving Base. "I swear, these people of faith think everything is about the raw truth of the matter versus how people wish to be governed. It's not always the case, tall but very young man." Kind of sits back in her like chair, kind of at the head of the group.
I think Norvin, you and I just keep an eye on things.
All right, we'll just sit down and let the discussions go on.
The gist of proposals that you hear as it goes on, the elven kingdom, which this dragon man is apparently representing, would propose him being the local governor, in service of the High King. Pledges to the High King would be expected from anyone expecting to be in a position of power. However, the High King has no interest in people's individual lives. aside from those, and he takes a moment to be as courteous as he can, but he gestures to the now high priest, Thamus, and is like, with all due respect to the religious order that has been doing good work here, we have found in our kingdom that service both to one's particular god and service to the local people is not always symbiotic in its interests. And thus, in the government that would be taking over, those within who have pledged their loyalty to a deific figure would not be qualified for public office and would be fully allowed and supported by the governmental systems to do their good works within the city, however not making authoritative decisions about the lives of the people that they live amongst. Which there's a bunch of common folk on one side that are like, "Argh!" And it's just like, please keep it calm. And it's just like imposing dragon figure, almost speaking down to his own supporters. Not like, he's not like, yeah, you're on my side. He's just one of those like, no, you're not supposed to talk now. And continues on with his like proposal.
Scary dragon man.
He goes over in minor detail their like tax code, which seems like a benefit mostly to the lower income people, and the higher income people also seem semi displeased with it because their taxes would go up. But yeah, what's Ravi up to?
Just like for clarification, is this guy like dragonborn or like half dragon?
He appears to be half elf, half dragon.
Oh, sick!
Yeah,
awesome.
So seems to be
sick.
A elven, like born amongst elves, but is the direct child of a dragon.
That's cool.
And
I like this guy already.
There's a reason he is a general in the elven armies, apparently third seat below the king.
Damn.
And he's like a serious figure that's been put in charge over here. Charlie, yeah.
Dash, bonus action dash.
By the conclusion, so that's sort of the gist of the Elven Kingdom's thing. You would then be part of the Elven Kingdom. If you're in a position of authority, you would pledge loyalty to the king. Religious order people would not be involved in governance. They would be focused on just their religious practices. So it's one of those, when you listen to the whole thing, it's like nobody would be super happy. Nobody's getting everything they wanted, but it would be competent leadership that would be relatively fairly run, along with most of the other kingdoms in their under their banner. Around the time the next, he kind of is like, so thank you for your consideration. I would be in charge of this local area during the next 10 years or so, while things adjust and come to terms. There would be a greatly increased era of security and stability for people, and that is how things would be run under my leadership. And thank you. Kind of steps down, and people are kind of like, yay? Like, everybody's kind of got something they don't like about that proposal.
I gotta stand for a second.
Yeah, do the thing. We gotta wrap up here in like 15 minutes at the most. So...
Nice fit.
Charlie, you do hear kind of a light clapping from way up the hill as you hit the sand. And you almost kind of skid as you get all the way down there.
Looking around, is there anyone close to me?
There's actually like 3 people in particular that are specifically at the sand to not be involved in whatever's going on up the hill.
Mood.
I'm gonna move as far away from them as I can.
Right.
And go up to the water and be like, hey, yo, genie man, I gotta talk to you.
Make an Arcana check.
Warlock friend?
18.
18's
Ooh.
pretty good. There is a... you kind of watching the water, and you do see the water kind of come in and go out, and it goes out, and like there's an odd swirl at a patch where you almost feel like he might be listening.
Hey, my guy. So, turns out that, the world might be ending in, like, a year, and that priest guy that my friends gave to you the other night, we kind of need him back. He could stop the end of the world. which I think is in your best interest, seeing that you're trying to, like, build up a civilization of your own. Call me back.
What?
TTYL.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh, it's cocked! 16?
16. There's a you kind of like take a second and there's nothing and there's nothing and you look at the water and you look like that, just the waves come in and you realize waves kind of, because of the two docks, the waves kind of hit and come in and like meet and like flow out, and that this swirl that you're noticing is just like how the waves reflect and then flow back out. And so you're kind of like, oh, okay, it's not like a thing that this is like, oh, how to talk to the elder genie. And as you kind of just like turn around and walk up the sand, you kind of look into a nearby home and you just see this like horrific fish face and be like, this is my favorite lamp. And it's just like the body of the priest hanging, floating upwards. And then you get, ah! And then it's just like a normal house with like somebody like adjusting one of the lights that's inside their house.
What the fuck?
Fuck!
There is that like where you
go
the
to the
feeling you
water,
get
I'm like,
when you
"Dude,
fuck with like an extra dimensional entity you're not really meant to be fucking with.
My sleep paralysis demon.
Yeah.
I go back up to the water. I'm like, man, I can, like, what about that box thing? What we could do? Is there something else you want? I'll trade you your lamp for something else that you want.
Several beats go by of like water coming up, splashing, heading back out to sea. Nothing. You notice a couple extra ships on the horizon that weren't there yesterday. That are like sailing vessels that are just sort of keeping their distance from port at the moment.
The British are coming. The British are coming.
There's you also kind of, as you wait and wait, you do look over. There is a docked ship that is made almost entirely of this like strange orange wood, and you're just like, that looks weird, but no, there's no response from the extra dimensional elemental entity other than this horrifying vision you had of his favorite lamp.
Horrifying.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go check out that ship.
Sure.
That
Walking over,
image burned into my mind.
so you start heading over to that orange ship. Lucian, over at the Flapping Dragon, there is nothing going on. There is there's Isaly there working, and looks like probably a third string like bartender guy. Just like the thick no chin kind of beard, and it's just like, do you want a drink or lunch or something?
Lunch should be great.
Got it.
And do you know anyone who can help find people
Everyone can help find people.
magically?
Oh, yeah, I want to talk to those elves that are in town. They got that kind of stuff. You give them a name, they can like look at them, see where they're at.
Over in the over by the church?
That's where most of them are at. Yeah, they still have a couple patrols running around town, making sure nobody's getting like robbed while this going on. But
Okay, I'm gonna go find one of them, and Lucian, I guess, is gonna head back to the chapel after they eat lunch.
Grab a to-go lunch and start heading back towards the chapel. Norman and Ravi are kind of there for the next proposal. Ravi, you recognize the weather-beaten woman who had some sort of invisible creature spy network that was keeping an eye on things the other day. She just kind of steps up and is just like pulls her hood back and goes, "I'm not much for talking. They usually leave me in the back, working with the ropes, working the regular things." And there's a couple of nods of like the regular working folk from the town. He goes, "Tell you what, fancier the captain, the less portion goes to the crew, most likely." And the people kind of go, "These folk look really fancy to me. So I don't know about you, but I'm tired of getting told what to do by fancy folk. I like a captain that watches over everybody the same. Everybody makes their own way, gets paid for their work, gets along fine, and is not bothered about anything else they want to do. God's worship
How
or
much did the
otherwise."
dissenters get paid?
Who's a what? It's my turn to talk.
How much did you pay the dissenters?
People like confused murmurs, and they're just like, it's just like, what?
I stand up. So, you heard me.
Seems like a weird call out. I haven't made a governmental proposal, but what are you talking about?
Oh,
Yeah, we talked the other day when I was watching
were you there?
failures of these elven peacekeepers.
It was more, the way I remember it at least, the conversation turned out to be you watching as the people you paid, threw fire at other people.
What makes you think I did any of that?
The person that you paid, they told me. Fun fact.
Someone told you, therefore that's irrefutable. How did they...
Actually,
What?
that's a good
How
point,
did you
because he
even make
also
sure
told
they
me
were
that the
telling
high
you the
priest
truth?
was evil. So,
He's just like, that's a good point. They were bad. How did you even make sure they were telling you the truth?
magically,
Do it then.
on you,
Sure. And ask me
do you
if
willingly,
I
do you
paid
willingly
people to attack.
commit to the spell?
Go ahead.
I cast suggestion.
Sure. What do you suggest?
Tell us everything about the dissenters and how your people were involved with it.
And make an Arcana check for me. I'd say with advantage. You're muted.
I am muted.
Oh,
I
there you
forgot about that. It's pretty good. Arcana, you said, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so 21.
21. You cast a spell and suggest that she tell you everything they were involved with, and she just dead stares you in the face. It's just like, my people were not involved with that at all, as far as I know. We had nothing to do with it. We were observing. We suspected something of that nature would take place, because always when you crack down on people, people crack back. And there's a few like, from the crowd. You notice, with your Arcana check, the last time you cast Suggestion, you didn't have to concentrate on it this much. And then a moment passes, and you continue concentrating on it. And you realize that the last time you cast Suggestion, after your initial casting, you weren't concentrating on it. The last time you cast Suggestion, you cast, and then it just went. And then you pause and think about it, and realize that doesn't make any sense. That the last time you cast Suggestion, the reason you weren't concentrating on it anymore is because it failed.
Shit.
And you realize you are currently concentrating on that suggestion. And
Damn it!
As she finishes explaining everything that she knows about the situation, and including, like, she kind of goes on into detail about things she observed happening, and how she tracked back certain people back to their homes, and then pointed at like, two people in the crowd and went, yeah, it was that guy, and a couple friends of theirs that live a block up. And then they kind of those guys get nervous and try to leave, and they get grabbed by some by some of the Elven Guard and like chained up. And,
I pause for a second, kind of like release concentration on the spell, kind of look down. I apologize for my accusations. I will now take my leave.
Apology accepted.
And I leave.
And this is what you you catch the tail end of like, this is what you get with these fancy magics. And like there's a common man's shouting to the crowd kind of thing going on. But you come to the realization that the person you cast station on made their save, and then just lied and strung together a chain of bullshit.
Gonna break his knees.
Oh, I don't like that guy anymore.
You liked him in the first place?
I didn't dislike him.
I
kind of disliked him because he.
That was that double nat 20 that I sent you guys in the chat. It was his saving throw and deception check from
Why?
Interrogation.
Hey, why?
I couldn't believe it happened. What's the main reason?
Horrible.
Oh, Ravi got muted again.
Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah. The Norvin, you go on to hear the proposal. The basics are they're called the Coastal Consortium. This lady in particular announced herself as Annalyn of the Orange Squall, and they go over points of they essentially just take fees from port management. They just take care of like import-export fees. Most of their fees are geared towards high-end products, magic items, high-end spices, things that mostly affect the wealthy of the town, and they otherwise have little to no interest in how people individually govern themselves, including the peacekeeping force being extremely minimal and mostly made up of local volunteers that just volunteer to be a part of the local militia to keep things straightened out. But they do back people up and protect them when need be. There's almost always a ship in port, and it is almost always fully crewed with military level people that can hop off and defend the city at a moment's notice. And so that's sort of their proposal. Is a very non-intervention, not super involved kind of people, but they have earned some points based on the public display of fancy magic elfish related man getting kind of hosed publicly by everyone.
He got dunked on.
Got a little dunked on.
I did. I got publicly shamed.
Sometimes
I was publicly humiliated. One of my greatest fears.
Right, yeah.
He got punked.
Oh, the double nat 20s happen on my end too, guys. There is some Ilmer church people that decided to make a case for keeping everything exactly the way it is, which is not super popular.
They don't even propose tax cuts or anything.
Nothing. They got nothing. They're just like,
no.
Everything's fine. The high priest knows what to do, and they gesture, and he's still not there.
You're not gonna be there.
You missed your cue.
You're on.
He's dead.
But yeah, those are the major players that make their proposals. There's question and answers from the crowd. People get a chance to kind of clarify any misgivings they might have about any particular proposal. But you kind of got the gist of what everyone's proposals are. And Ravi's had quite the character day.
Damn.
You need a nap. I need to finally finish.
He needs to just walk into the ocean and not stop walking.
And now I am going to go throw myself into the sea.
Lucian, I would say you probably got back right about the time, right at the tail end of Ravi getting kind of owned.
Lucian's just
it's a little funny, but it's also a little, you all murdered the high priest on the word of a liar.
We didn't know he was lying.
We did do that.
Didn't happen.
Fuck.
I'm gonna go up. Are there any of those elven wizards in the crowd that I could just talk to?
The only one you've seen do outright wizardry things is the lady with the gold cord in her bun, and she's currently at the front hanging out with all the proposals.
Okay, I'm gonna wait till the end of the speech and then go up to her and
wait for people to kind of disperse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ravi doing something?
No, not yet.
Gotcha. Charlie, you spot Elliot. Elliot Lill, the the fellow that stopped by your place. You're both kind of just walking down the street, and he's just sort of like, "Oh, hey, how are you? Charlie, correct?"
Yup, that's me.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hope you're having a good day. We have those game nights coming up in a few days. We have a little, like, tavern would be a rough term for it. Over on the east side, in the poor district. It's really kind of a hole in the wall. It's converted from a house. But we brew some ale over there with some old dwarven buddies. Bring their hops down from up north and bring it in. Not technically allowed to do that, but I feel like you're someone who understands bringing things in that aren't
You
necessarily
had me at beer, man.
Yeah, come on by. First one's on me.
Sounds good.
All right. Make an insight check for me.
See you around. 3.
3. Hard to read. Could be a death trap. Could be a friendly invite for game night. There's no way to tell. But you noticed that he wasn't making a lot of eye contact with you. But you can't glean anything from it.
I have a question, man.
Yeah, sure. Is this something I should charge for, like a history question, or is this just a general, or never mind? What's your question?
How much do you know about me?
You're the partner of Isaly, and you. I've gathered just from interacting that you work in some less reputable tracks of work occasionally. That's the vibe I get from your, just somewhere in your history. I'm sure you've snuck something past a guard or something of that sort. So, but as far as like a ton of personal information, not much. No.
I'm gonna show him this secret guild symbol that only this way for you guys. Only my guild, the guild knows. And see if there's reaction.
Your like personal like thieves guild symbol.
Yes.
Oh, okay. It's like, oh. So my insights were correct. You're probably qualified in smuggling things around, yes?
What, are you connected with us then?
I mean, vaguely, not super directly. Some of your clan, we'll call it sometimes. They pass through sometimes. We are a bit of a port city, so they look for the signs on the walls to find a friendly place to get a drink. They're not going to be judged too harshly for their line of work, and they come into the bar.
Insight check.
Sure, go for it.
14?
Yeah, it seems on the level. He's likely in the Thieves Guild, but just runs a bar, essentially. Looks like he's an information man, which isn't super uncommon for somebody who just knows stuff about history to be, like, in the guild, but really they just run a bar, and then when people find historical artifacts, they bring it over, like, hey, give me context, and he's like, yeah, sure, 10 gold, and then he, like, gives them the context to it, and so he's more of an information broker.
My notes from that guy.
Scroll out.
Damn you.
Oh yeah, I have a lot of very large notes today.
You have a lot of things that you just, like, circle and write lies next to.
Bastard.
My
you said
stomach
it's
is still
10
upset from
gold?
nerves.
Charlie, what?
You said it's 10 gold for information on
That's
people?
just the gist of the kind of service that he gives, where it's like, hey, what's this history of this artifact? And you look at it and be like, give me this much gold, and I'll let you know what it's about. And
I'll give him 20 gold and say, if anyone asks, I'm not here.
He, like, takes 15 gold off of that stack and hands it back to you. And then goes, and just with the 5, he's like, wouldn't dream of it. And pockets the 5 gold.
So he's a good person.
Yeah, well, we knew that because The other guy was trying to frame him. Damn it!
I should mute myself before I go into raucous laughter.
I'm so.
You're good friends with Isley, right?
Well, I mean, we're friends. Yeah, she's come to game nights occasionally in the, a couple months, every month or two while she was adventuring whenever she was back in town. Sometimes there'd be work that, I could pass her way and stuff like that, but, not super close friends, but I would consider her a good acquaintance.
I give him another 5. I give him another 5 and say, you've never seen her here either.
Here as in this street?
Here as in ever.
What?
You've never seen her before.
Oh, I get. As far as he hands the full 5 back to you, he goes, I would never betray someone who's ever done a job for me. That is a rule.
Insight check again.
Yeah, go roll it.
14.
Are
Yeah,
you bullshitting
he has a particular, and this isn't an uncommon thieves code kind of thing where it's like your crew is your crew and you don't betray your crew, and your whole livelihood and reputation is based on not fucking over your crew. And so he's basically
Don't be that
she's
guy.
been part of my crew essentially before, so she has full immunity from anyone trying to find or hassle her in any way.
Okay.
Honor
Listen,
among
man.
thieves.
People
Now, if you'd
find
like to do a
me-
job for me, I can stop taking 5 gold to keep your name out of things.
Well, listen. Something happens to me. Something happens to her.
None of that will
But-
be on my end.
But if you got any jobs for me in the future, let me know.
Will do. Might have something. Working on something.
Okay.
What kind of... Is there any particular kind of work you do besides just general smuggling?
I'm pretty good at pickpocketing, sneaking around.
Anything else? Just those pickpocket, sneaking around, smuggling things?
That's my expertise.
Alright.
Unlocking things.
If you develop any other special interests, let me know. Specific work is sometimes easier to find than general work.
Removing someone's
And
blood.
I'm pretty good with a bow.
Alright, that might be relevant, actually. So, I'll let you know.
Remove the blood.
Gives you a nod with a, we done here? Everything good? Alright. Good day.
See ya game night for beer.
Game night beer.
I walk away and I'm like, I hate socializing.
Just our entire generation.
Anxiety.
Social anxiety.
Depression.
Oh my.
As crowd disperse.
I'm so upset about that guy.
Should we just break in and just... Should we just remove his bones?
No, he's still a person and deserves a trial, I guess.
Lucian waits until crowd starts to disperse. The dragon man and the elven woman are chatting. And you can walk up. Lucian's been waiting for this one, so...
I do that.
So Lucian walks up. She kind of does a look over and is just like, "Hello."
Hello. I was told you that some of the elven mages know how to find people using magic.
Yes. There's specifically people in the immediate area that we can track, and then there are people anywhere that we can look upon and see what their particular situation is.
And it would let me know where they are?
We don't really have any interest in finding this high priest. Frankly, him not showing up was great for us.
I'm not actually interested in looking for the high priest.
Oh, sure, we can do business.
Perfect. Thank you. I'm What do you need to help?
What do you want to do?
I need to find my girlfriend. Her name. Do you need her full name?
Scouring through
Full
notes.
names help.
Uh, Pardon me while I just put the quick last name.
Okay, I did that earlier this session. Oh, you're muted, Tay.
Take
I
our
have all of it short form on sticky notes.
So many sticky notes.
If
I
you
have
have
to
the
go
ability
back
to
into
generate
the
a
doc
likeness,
that I wrote.
that would be excellent.
Pardon?
If you have the ability to generate the her likeness, illusory or otherwise, you have a picture.
I have a little picture of her.
Hey, excellent.
I have a sketch of her, and I reach like deep in my pocket and pull out like a small sketch of her.
Yep. Thing.
Her name is Finch Oceanbloom.
Alright.
Ocean Cleaver.
Very well. I will require only about 20 minutes, and I will say 50 gold, and we'll get this underway.
Okay, I hand her 5 platinum pieces.
Excellent. Puts the 5 in the pocket. You see this half dragon man just like, I'll be speaking to some of the people, and kind of just wanders off into the crowd. Ravi, what are you up to lately?
During like the rest of the meeting, I was kind of just lingering like way back,
Mhm.
to avoid any extra humiliation.
Mhm.
But was there any like did it seem like the crowd had any particular leaning, like more or less?
You want to go like chat with people up and see if you can get a sense, do a exit poll basically.
I want to, but after publicly humiliating himself, he doesn't want to actually talk to anyone. So he's gonna, yeah, Ravi, I'm gonna disguise self as
Okay.
just a normal-looking person,
A very
just like the
average
most
sort of person.
boring, bland white man you can think of. I look like him now.
Gotcha.
His
Hi,
name is
I'm
John
Jeff.
Doe.
So, you
Ooh,
walk up to people.
self-burn.
Hi, I'm Jeff.
Self-burn, those
And,
are rare.
I like that you used your own name,
yeah,
Jeff.
yeah. I see the recording of me.
I think that was the joke.
I've been here the whole time. I am the arguably middle class white man who the whole time's been like, yeah, this is fucked up. And be like, shit, I don't know what to do. And yeah, that's been my like whole life. So yeah, make a persuasion check. Just getting to know people and getting a vibe for how people are feeling.
That's 15.
Nice. You adjust a little bit for the fact that you look like the more common people, so you're probably getting more their end of things. Consider
You're not as
that.
hot as
I
usual.
mean, there's more of them, so that's what I'm aiming for.
Yeah. But you still get the sense that it's pretty split. Definitely among the common people, there's a slight edge towards the this like shipping guild to give security to kind of stay out of people's lives. Some of them got the impression that the elven people were hostile towards anyone who's religious, and some of them you talk to kind of noticed the nuance of, I was like, well, if you pledge your whole loyalty to a church, then also having loyalty to the government and being run properly for the people might not mix well all the time, depending, because there's literal gods involved that are doing literal like earth-shattering events sometimes, and like it's not always great for like how making sure the port works correctly. But there is still that kind of conception that's semi-valid to maybe not, but you are getting that sense of that it's pretty split, that there is a slight edge towards the shipping guild. How
Does
much
the
that
kingdom
edge
have like a state religion?
they do. From everything you heard, it doesn't sound like they have a state religion so much. They have a
Okay.
king that is kind of the king, which I guess is functionally a state religion in some ways. But No, it sounds a little more like the not quite current England, where there's a completely separate from the monarchy parliament going on. There is more influence than that, but still people in their towns are left to their individual beliefs and things.
You're trying to talk to me, I can't hear anything.
Oh no! I'm not muted.
No,
Oh, you've cut out.
everyone froze for me for a second.
Oh, yeah, and you cut out for us for a bit.
Okay.
You back?
I got when you said not quite like modern England,
Right.
but not after that.
Yeah, so, yeah, not exactly like modern England where it's totally separated. There is more direct involvement from the king on that front as far as setting policy and things. But it doesn't sound like there's any horrendous things being done in their name. So, you know, it sounds like a lot of the area gets governed by a king of some sort, and so it's not that weird to have another one.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, it might be a little rough for some of the people that do worship, you know, some of the gods that might not be well supported, but it's not weird necessarily for this continent. So it seems like rather par. They just may not have.
Yeah.
It seems like they put their tactical leader guy in charge of pitching a government when he's there to be like, I'm here to make sure everything works right, and I don't care if you like it. It's sort of the type of guy that showed up. So yeah, but split opinions, and you have the feeling that if you get into the little more affluent neighborhoods that maybe have a little more influence, they might be swinging more in the elf direction.
I can't decide which I prefer.
I've done my job then. If you got the feeling that neither are
It's
great,
like-
that's fair.
It's like the anarchist, like kind of like semi-piratey people, or
Right.
like the people who have kind of some authority and some like decent like ability to back it up. In my eyes,
Yeah,
I really don't know.
The people that disapprove of the piratey types are concerned that more vulnerable people would be completely left behind and not even considered. Because they straight up
Exactly.
like don't consider however people
Yeah.
in local government. You get the sense that the more kingdom is more concerned with making sure everybody gets treated the same. That
Yeah.
the same though might not be as great for individual people. So trade-offs. Then again, you're 4 yahoos in from the ocean from like a week
Yeah.
ago, so who knows?
I know.
The idea you're gonna like,
But I
influence the
still want
elections.
what's best for people, especially since it turns out that my family has some, connection to this whole shit show.
Right. Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah. Lucian. You see they go inside to the temple into kind of the central circle that's carved at the head of it. There is an attempt made to cast the spell, and there is almost a zap of energy that kind of statics off of the crystal ball that she's pulled out to look through, and he's like, well, I can tell you she's feeling fine. I can't tell you much else. She is well, and she does not like being watched.
You know, I
So it's nice to know
figured,
she's
but
alive.
I'm just glad to know she's alive. And also, goddamn it.
That's fair. I could attempt again tomorrow. I don't recommend it necessarily. She seems rather strong-willed.
Strong-willed. Strong-willed is definitely how you could put it. Can you at least
I
tell
caught
me
a whiff of sea air before I got cut out, but that's it.
that seems accurate? So you can't tell me where she is? Is she on this continent?
Couldn't tell you. If I'd been able to link in all the way for even a moment, I could probably tell you at least what she was standing on, but nothing.
Knowing her, probably a boat.
All right. Well, good day to you. I have some business to attend to.
Thank you anyway.
Indeed.
Lucian's gonna head back to the Flapping Dragon now.
Gotcha. Norvin,
Same here.
Charlie, anything else you wish to accomplish today? Starting with Norvin. Where does Norman want to sleep tonight? Is a good question.
I think Norvin is actually going to take tonight at the church.
Ah.
Just seeing how unstable everything is, especially considering that we murdered the high priest.
No
just
one
in
needs
case,
to know.
just in case anything goes down at the church,
Gotcha.
I'll be there.
There's a foot locker essentially with like common room bunks to sleep in where you can stow your armor. You've done that before. There's a few priests stay up during the night and wander around, but yeah, find the bunk where your legs sticking out the bottom cause the least like foot traffic issue, and find a good spot to hunker down. Charlie.
Sorry, I forgot. I didn't realize I was muted.
Oh.
I was just gonna go check out that orange ship super quick for anything
yes.
weird.
You go over to the orange ship and it is super weird. All of the places, the ropes come down and tie onto like facets on the ship. You would expect these to be made of like wood or like light iron or something. They seem to be carved out of bone, which is just unusual to do on the edge of a ship. This bright orange wood is the whole boat, including the masts that come up out of the center. There, as you have to kind of almost get up onto the ship to kind of see what's going on in the ship. You can see a deep purple trim that is lining the interior, just in like highlighting spots to kind of give the eye a sense of like depth when looking at it. Otherwise, it would just be straight orange. There is a carving of a bird at the tip of the mast, or at the mast that sticks out the front. I'm not a boat guy. The thing that sticks out the front. There is this carving of a bird, and on the back, as you approach, you saw the scrawling name on it was the Orange Squall. You hear like a hummingbird fly by, and just like, there is a wild-haired elf that is just like, you kind of get one foot onto the ship with like nobody there, and then you blink and next to you is standing this just wild-haired elf, and it's just like,
Ah, shit!
hi, you're
Hi.
on a boat.
Yeah, dude, this boat's cool.
This boat is cool, not a dude. So what you doing?
Person,
You got
I'm just checking it out. You got a freaking bone on your ship, man.
what? Bone? Oh yeah.
I definitely thought you said boat.
You
You got boat on your ship.
You got a boat on your boat.
The bone, yeah. Let's see. These ones I ripped out of a mammoth. That was like a six-legged lizard creature thing. Spit turned people to stone. Don't remember what it was called. Don't care. Tore it up. Used some bones for them of that. That rigging over there was a small dragon. That's actually an interesting bit. Anyways, what brings you over here?
I was just curious. I'm Charlie. I go to shake their hand.
Nice to meet you. You call me Lymond. Like a diamond that's lying.
Nice to meet you.
So, you see a ship made of exotic hardwoods, and you just think, oh, we'll go over there and see what's going on it.
I guess I shouldn't have been too nosy. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I
I
was
just
implying
let
that's
my
completely
curiosity-
reasonable. I mean, if you see a ship that's made out of some sort of wood you've never seen before, you're gonna go take a look at it.
Yeah.
If you see a dead dragon on the beach, you're not gonna be like, that might be interesting, and walk away.
That's true.
Well, there you go. Consider this my dead dragon. This is the Orange Squall.
It's a gorgeous ship.
I know. I built it. Well, I paid people to build it. I built a little. I did some of the trim work.
Where do you get this wood from?
Oh, there's a continent west of here. There's some purplish, dark purple-skinned elves that live on the surface over there. They've got quite a little trade going. So we get a lot of lumber out that way. As we did at the
Sorry.
time. I'm not sure if that kingdom exists anymore. Don't really care. They're not really connected to the ocean. Hard to get to. There's a whole wild magic country in the way, so that's not fun.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's
You
where I
use this-
died. As a man like climbs up from the side of the ship and like rolls onto the ship. Evening, and like turns and like walks and starts doing some ropes and getting some rigging right. Don't mind him. He died on an expedition and got filled with magic or something and came back. Decided to spend the rest of his life doing this. Anyways,
Hey, if you ever need anyone like to do some work for you, let me. This place is cool.
I mean, if you're looking to sail, I wouldn't turn down a crewmate not taking up much space like yourself.
Yeah, let me get back to you on that. If I got some more hands too, if you ever need, if one of them knows ships pretty well.
You got more than the two. I knew
Pardon?
one.
Sorry?
I knew one lass like that. She had a magic hand that you would pop out, and she could use it to like fix rigging and things from a distance. It's very useful, especially in a storm. You don't have to climb up and fix the rope. You just and it's fixed.
Huh.
Might
Weird.
be oversharing. What do you specialize in?
I myself specialize in. I'm an archer personally.
Well, we ship
But I'm really good.
spices.
I have fast hands.
Well, we ship
I'm quick on my feet. I'm pretty nimble.
very quickly. She just like and pulls out this little like
I got fast hands.
box. Pretty quick,
Oh,
like
right
yourself.
Not that kind of fast hands.
It's like a red and white box, like a small box. Because I specialize in spices and exotic hardwoods. Exotic hardwoods help spices. It turns out certain woods maintain certain levels of humidity. Humidity is key to spice maintenance. So it is very important to get the correct spice to the correct hardwood in the correct box, shape, and size and volume, the correct placement in the ship to maintain its particular qualities. Here.
Cool.
And she just slides this this cedar box open and just like dabs a finger on it and like puts it out to like your tongue level. Have a taste.
Just like pure spice.
It is cinnamon. It is laced with a little bit of extra sugar. It shuts it quickly, but it is a cinnamon flavor that is completely undiluted. Even though it's ground to a powder, it is completely the same as a well steeped stick would accomplish. So it's an
into a
incredibly
stick.
well maintained spice. It seems to have lost none of its flavor from however it was originally harvested.
That's insane.
I have that with my tea every morning. That's the life you could have.
My girlfriend would be really into that.
Licking strangers' fingers on a strange boat.
No, spices. She likes to cook.
Oh. Well, I'm slightly disappointed, but yes, cooking would be always fun.
This is a weird man. I want to be his friend.
Not a man.
Woman.
Not a woman.
Oh, right.
Maybe I'll get her to come look at buying some of your spices if you'd be fine with that.
If she wants to lick something I've got, I'm up for it. I'm sorry, that came out weird.
Nope.
It's
Yeah,
like-
it did.
And that dead man again is just like, that really sounded sexual. It's like, I know. I'm sorry. It's how I was raised. I'm trying to work on it.
If you can afford it, Tay. It's a lot. The spices are expensive.
I got a lot of money.
Oh yeah, for the spices.
Oh, right. No, you can't spend the world-saving diamonds on spices.
That's what
I mean-
Brennan did, and look what happened to them!
Technically,
No,
they
no, I have
can.
gold besides the diamonds.
Okay.
She can, she shouldn't.
Well, come on back. My understanding is we're going to be here for a few days while these people figure out how they want to be run government-wise. So, I tell you what I want to have happen.
What's
Both.
that?
I want both. I have a little friend who's been looking all over the place, and it turns out this is weird to be one city. There are two distinct populations that have two distinct sets of interests that are not served by each other whatsoever. There's a convenient river splitting them right down the middle. Just make two towns. Shipping.
Oh my god.
Shipping here, where you have clean access to the routes that go northward to the Dwarven Kingdoms. A nice little subsect that's a rich hoity-toity neighborhood that does specialized things and has some sort of human rights thingamajig church thing that does outreach and whatever. They can live there, it's fine. And you just... into two, and there you go. Two
First
towns.
bend it.
There
If
we
it
go.
doesn't have a centralized government already,
What's the point in making one?
That's just me, though, and I love chaos.
I
don't
would
mind
go along
chaos
with this
person.
myself.
Well, there
And
you
that's not a bad idea. Why don't you share some of those ideas with the people that are in charge
Oh.
now?
There's an excellent reason for that. Come. Closer. It's not my problem.
Fair enough.
Have a good day, Charlie. I hope we'll see you again.
An
Oh, you-
SEP.
Definitely will.
All right. Come, Patsy! And he's like, don't call me Patsy.
I'm getting big, chaotic pirate lesbian energy vibes from this person.
Not a lesbian.
they're pretty.
Uh,
they're pretty cool.
The vibes.
The vibes.
You don't have to have. You don't have to be gay to have
The
the gay
vibes are
vibe.
immaculate. I agree. The vibes are immaculate.
And you do have a sense of recognition in a more morbid sense, remembering the body you saw earlier today, where some of the similar, not conforming to a particular gender binary kind of situation going on with this elf, and you also don't recognize them as high elf or wood elf or definitely not drow. You're having trouble placing the type of elf that this is.
Cool.
Because it's
And-
not an elf.
But you heavily elven features, but the exact kind is escaping you. The orange and brown mixed hair kind of like throws you for a second, and
Swear to
it's
God,
really
if
hard to
this
tell.
is gay.
Yeah, we lost Norvin at some point.
Yeah, he said he had to go in chat.
Gotcha. We should be
Maybe
wrapping up
it's a
anyways.
sea elf.
Not blue, no gills, but
It all ties in together. That is a sea elf, Norvin.
Make a perception check for me really quick as you head off the boat.
13.
13. You do notice the one that they called Patsy, who apparently not his name, but he also doesn't complain any harder than, hey, that's not my name. You
That's not my name.
notice tie up some rope and like go to cut it and accidentally like slice his own hand a bit, like a relatively minor cut. But then you notice to just sort of stare at it, and you're like, ew, that must have hurt. And then you notice the blood dripping stop, and then the line that's across the hand just kind of like, and just seal up, and then he gets back to like tying rope.
He's Bond from the Seven Deadly Sins.
But yes, you notice that. And where does Charlie go to end their evening?
To go find Isley.
Easy enough. You imagine at this time of night, she's probably clocking off and heading home.
I will walk her home.
Go kiss your girlfriend.
You notice her waiting outside the Flapping Dragon. Looks like her shift probably ended just a few minutes ago, and she kind of assumed you might pop by. Has a nice smile when she spots you coming. And just like takes your arm and hands you this like pot pie kind of thing. Goes, grab the extra for dinner.
Hey.
And I've got a gift for you. And I pull out the tiara and I put it on her head.
Oh, She kind of takes it off to look at it and goes, I'm a very inexpensive princess. I love it. It's
You're right.
amazing. What's this from? He kind of looks at it. And he's like,
Where's this from? Just
robbing.
like a good question.
puts it on.
I found it in a unclaimed box, not stolen.
Interesting. I don't know why people are leaving those around town so often, but sure.
Is this not the first tiara they found?
So, marching back towards the two of yours house, there's an entrance into your home. The bone cat sitting like right next to the door, which she like picks up and puts outside, and goes, "I'm gonna leave that outside while we have a chat," and like shuts the door. And the two of you kind of sit down to this like kind of takeout dinner. And she goes, I feel like I need to tell you something.
Oh no.
I don't feel bad about anything I've done, except that I haven't told you about it yet. That I am feeling bad about. And so I'm please eat so I can talk without worrying about anything.
I start eating and I hold one of her hands as I'm eating.
So we've been apart for some time, and in between my outings for adventures, I learned of some work I could do, of a knightly manner that was oh fuck. Alright, I'm gonna stop mincing my words. You know that high priest? So he had a thing for being tied up by halflings and hit with things.
This is almost killing him.
And it was an very simple, easy, and I got to be clothed the whole time. And it was an easy 50 gold every few months in between missions, and I got to buy healing potions for my party. It saved a few lives that later died still. But besides the point, I hope you don't feel betrayed in any way, and I don't feel like I did anything super wrong in particular. I mean, that's all that it was. And Elliot, he would let me know when the priest had the gold for it, and I assumed he was scamming all that off of that giant pot that people said that he had. But yeah, that's what's going on, and that's probably why you might have sensed I was a little weird about everything involving. I didn't know he had other like conniving schemes behind the scenes on everything. I just knew that he liked to get hit by very small women.
As long as you don't have STDs, we're good.
Oh, there was no
and then
contact.
I just keep shoving food in my face.
I technically only touched him a few times when I slapped him in the face once or twice, but that's it was mostly at the end of a little you know, those little whips that people use on horses sometimes to like get them to get going. It was mostly that.
We killed this man. We
You
killed
still have
him.
that stuff?
Technically,
Fade to black.
that's where we'll call it.
That was perfect.
Oh,
I'm
my
dead.
goodness.
I called it! I called it!
Oh my gosh.
I called it!
You called
I
it?
called it
We
too.
kink shamed this man to death.
You kink shamed and murdered an old man.
Oh no.
This has made murdering him worth it.
Oh no.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, but we could.
Oh man,
No, I'm
I
not
was
gonna
so
make
nervous.
that joke.
I was so nervous that night was gonna be nobody doing anything and just following him until they just see him like tied up and getting beat by Charlie's girlfriend.
Well, that would have been. I don't know if that would have been better or worse.
Lucien, everyone's just there, just the fuck.
Everybody
Wait a
watching, like,
minute.
I'm uncomfortable, but it's not evil.
Yeah.
Generally uncomfortable. What the fuck?
No,
Oh
we're
my God.
poly. I'm good. As long as she doesn't have STDs.
Right. Ah, good times.
If Robbie had come back to the Flapping Dragon, they would have just found Lucien just. Why is my girlfriend so stubborn?
All
Who I
right.
based on my actual girlfriend,
Oof.
So,
which is very accurate.
we will call it for the evening and see y'all next week. Hopefully with you know, Jonah getting to stay in their box the whole time.
I finished.
I have
actually
hijacked
finished-
All right.
Razzies.
Bye.
finally
There's
finished
I don't see anybody in the
Lucien's
chat,
backstory.
but bye anybody watching. Catch us over on
Remember
the
to finger.
YouTubes. Back here on
No.
Friday. We'll see y'all
Not
around.
after that day.
Don't cuck.
No.
Somehow worse.
You can cuck if you want
End
to.
stream. End it.
I'm
Cut
not
it
here
off.
to judge you.
No kink shaming.
No kink shaming. All right.
I finally finished Lucien's, albeit very short backstory. I don't like being one of those guys that has like a 10-page long backstory.
Sure. But anyways, we'll sign
Uh,
off the stream
Justin.
though.
Oh.
We'll see
Right.
everybody some other time. All right. Bye bye.
Arrivederci.